my gosh, never mind. I just got it. I just got it.
Go ahead, Monica. Go ahead.
Elon Musk actually created the super PAC, and it's going to voter registration and electoral processes, not specifically Trump or the Republicans.
Yeah, but it's a PAC for Trump.
No.
It's a super PAC on those two issues. Those two issues.
Trump did acknowledge it in his speech. Like he acknowledged it like it was going to him. So if it wasn't going to him, it
Elon
doesn't have anything to do with him.
Hey, Biden's gonna show his face, so.
Oh, he's not dead. That's good.
Doesn't it scare you?
The week ain't over yet.
You said Joe Biden's what?
The week isn't
There's
over yet.
breaking news. Biden is going to show his face for the first time.
Where's he at? Show that nigga. Where's he at?
AI generated.
Exactly. Where the fuck is he at, man?
Let's just raise attention to the jokes that fly. Oh, he's not dead, but I mean, if we were to flip that,
It wasn't a joke.
Look.
It's sincere. It's not a joke.
you guys
Louis.
never stop crying.
It's not a joke. It was sincere.
Okay.
It was released.
It is a joke. I
Hold on,
acknowledge
even
it
if it is a joke,
we
listen,
wouldn't
I'm
be
not
able
going
to
to sit
make the
here and
same
allow you
joke.
to try to make it sound like
But it wasn't a joke.
It was a joke.
Florida all the way down there.
Florida, you're really low, bro.
Yeah, really low.
Really low.
Just saying it's the level of
Gotta use some
insensitivity
rag.
Hey, Tally, can I ask you a question? Can I ask Tally a question?
No, you can't.
Okay, cool, you gotta wait till
Tally,
Florida.
can I ask you a question?
Billy Joe Bob wants to
If
speak.
I said it and I say it's not a joke, then it wasn't a joke.
It was a
It was
joke.
actually
Tally, can I ask
released
you a question?
because he wasn't president.
Okay, there's
Presidency since last Wednesday.
Hey, just a quick
Oh, sorry. Didn't realize you were speaking Florida. What's up, school?
Doesn't it scare you guys that the election, like our election process, started so much money is going into our election process? Doesn't it scare anyone in the U.S. that in 2022 it cost almost $8 billion for races?
That's
in
$8 billion of jobs. It's creating jobs.
What jobs is it creating?
Yo, school, you sound
Data analytics.
That was
Yeah,
bad.
man. Why you complaining?
Man. Electoral politics is
Don't be broke,
This
school.
question was the topic
Finish his
because she
question
brought up
and
the
5 other
election.
people on mic. Shut up.
Yo, Don, how you doing?
Hey, Don?
Listen, guys, listen. Can you hear me better now?
No.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
A little bit.
Just honestly, guys, seriously, if you are not a moderator, please don't try to moderate the room. When
Can you
people
moderate
try to... Dawn, why don't you let the moderators do what the moderators do and
We'll
let the
try to
moderators
moderate the
not
room,
do
though.
what the moderators don't do, all right?
Agreed,
At the end of the day, when people that aren't moderators are going to sit here and try to, start modding the stage in some way or another, and then 4 of them start doing it, and all 4 of them disagree with the way that the room needs to be moderated, and it just starts turning into mayhem, chaos, and
I
bullshit.
agree.
I agree.
I agree. I'll just stop.
Who is moderating?
Lord is right. Let the mod.
Louis, I don't know. That was the most random shit ever,
Let's let
bro.
I'll
Talia
just
respond to this
agree on
bullshit.
Guys, y'all
Be
can
rude.
You guys are
let Sally
fucking
answer the
idiots, I swear to
question,
God.
guys.
You have nice things.
Who
You have nice
Wait,
fucking things. This is why
One
we do
mic.
not have nice fucking things. Dawn, I like you, but don't make me send you to the fucking audience.
You better
For
chill
what?
out.
You're stealing.
A question. School asked Talia a question.
You gotta
I
relax
fucking
on
hate
your own,
modding this
bro.
room sometimes, bro.
She didn't say something crazy to you.
Florida done lost it.
Start moving people.
Sally, did you want to answer your
One mic on top.
Who cut Florida off when he was hogging the mic and I ain't mad about it? What, you gonna throw people off stage? What?
Someone has a lot of
Yeah,
background.
y'all mics are garbage right now. It's
That's
not like
Mr.
Kevin Master.
Finley. I don't even
Okay,
know
so-
if it's
Yeah, I'm in my car.
Bro, this is public
No,
transit.
No, it doesn't scare me that it costs a lot of money to win an election in America. Sure, it disqualifies some people, actually the vast majority of people, but most people weren't going to qualify either way. So, no. And also, they're not advertising just to Americans for the sake of winning our votes.
All right, Luca, we see.
They're also American media in all its forms, including our presidential candidates, are for the consumption of the world.
Okay, then.
I'd like to go after Luca.
On that
But hold
topic.
on,
So,
wait, school, a lot of people want to
I
answer.
just have one last question for Tali.
Okay, well, I want to go after Luca, after you go.
Oh, that's fine. So Tali, so Alaska changed to a ranked voting system.
Niggers.
Shut up.
Your mama, Rondo.
Alaska changed to a ranked vote system, right, Tali? And the in 2022, it cost less than $2 million for their
Wait, Luca, you can go after school and Tally.
for their congressional election process. So $2 million. That is a dime in the. It was so cheap because they didn't have a primary process. They didn't have to spend money on ads and all of this bullshit that happens through these elections. And guess what? This ranked vote system seems to be benefiting Alaska. Why are we allowing companies, or however you guys want to call them, I'm just going to say companies, to basically run this country? They own this country. If someone is giving you $90 million as a presidential candidate, what does that mean? Does that mean you have the Americans' backs, or does that mean you have this company's back?
School, what is the solution? Like, why are you bringing this up?
Hold on, though, because
The
Corporations are people's schools, so that's why.
I'm just running out of time, and I want Tally
Go ahead,
and
my bad.
Luca
Go
to
ahead,
have a
Monica.
turn. And I think Dawn wanted to get in earlier. We gotta pass the mic around.
Yeah,
Tally, what?
corporations are people, I believe, so.
They are not people.
I don't
They are not people. You
So
cannot
why are
put a
these things
corporation in
mutually
prison.
exclusive though?
Looks like political beat. Yeah, it looks like a bunch of people organizing.
Samoa, Thomas, like, we have to have a.
What do you mean people are not people? Guys, I
Damn
don't want to start shooting people to the fucking audience, but I am so fucking close.
Dude, you and your period, man. Come on, man.
Oh, come
Relax.
on.
Shoot them, Florida, shoot them.
I believe
They
that.
have two white people conspiring on killing her.
Okay. Did you want to,
Keep playing with me, assholes!
be gonna, you know,
Why you so?
No, Tally,
Just
please
wait,
take
there'll
another
be
minute.
people on the stage by the time I'm done.
Tally, you wanna finish your final?
yeah, that was my favorite thought. Corporations are people.
Okay. Luca, did Luca wanna go before me? Okay, so, school,
Say, man,
there was a-
y'all need to get
there's a
control of your
trucker.
minds, fam.
there was a trucker who campaigned, and I think he spent like $500 on his campaign, and he won. So I think it was true that there's a lot of money in politics, but I think with the internet and social media, we actually can fix it on our own. And I was excited to see that. I think in the future there's a possibility for a $0 campaign that could be successful.
That's pretty silly, but
I'm still cooking, but I do know that there was, I don't know if it was Alaska, but there's somewhere that was using ranked choice and they're having to recount their submissions. I don't know that I've been convinced on ranked choice voting yet.
I heard that like in like
It's way better than the current trash we got right now.
I think there was one place, was it France, where like the right won, and then they were like, oh shit, and then since like it's almost like if everybody like watched Donald Trump win again, and then they got to vote instantly, like, oh shit, we fucked up. let's get a do-over. I think that's a part of ranked choice voting or something else.
Hey, yo, Florida. Wait, hold on, wait, one second, bro, 1 second. Yo, Florida, I want you to finish with your thought before you lost your mic. We were talking about the comparisons between.
So I gotta be quiet for this white boy too. What the fuck?
Man, I don't give a fuck about none of that, bro. I just want him to finish his point.
Yeah, fuck him.
He might lose his mind, you know what I'm saying?
All right, Florida, what were you saying, man?
Bro, he lost his shit.
He was comparing the whole Kamala Harris,
Come
the
on,
whole
bro.
Biden
Not that shit,
situation to
Samoa.
Trump. Yeah.
Are you gonna talk or not?
I'm gonna send you the fucking audience, and I'm not bringing you back the fuck up. I'm not bringing you back the fuck up. And I hope you get moved to the audience so many times that nobody can bring you back the fuck up, Samoa. Because all you fucking do is try to cut other people off, center yourself, ad-lib, dick ride, and make stupid jokes that aren't even funny. I don't remember what I was saying earlier, Thomas.
Yeah, Floyd, you were
I
talking
apologize.
about, I'll help you. You were talking about the comparison between people talking about Biden being dead and Trump's assassination.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I genuinely don't believe that an old man dying of COVID is equivalent to an old man being assassinated by an AR-15 and a crazy 20-year-old man. So when we're talking about joking regarding the deaths of these two individuals, they cannot be viewed as equally
You're soft.
atrocious in
Fuck
the...
it. It's the same shit.
Except I didn't joke. I meant it sincerely. I don't want Biden dead. I want him unemployed. I want him healthy and well.
That man's not making it, so get over it.
No, my whole thing is that I mean,
I already told y'all earlier
man.
this year, Florida, you was there when I said it. I asked everybody, do you think Biden's going to make it to the end of do you think he's even going to make it to November? There's a reason why I said that. There's a reason.
My point was that I really don't see it. And again, this is just my perspective. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it like a large swaths of individuals, especially on the right, coming out and saying, "I hope Biden's dead."
No, that's different.
A lot of it was kind of shocking. Them saying that they're trying to cover up the fact that he's dying. There's a difference between being gleeful, saying, I wish they wouldn't miss, right? I wish the shooter wouldn't have missed, or and these people aren't joking. There's a lot of these people that are dead ass. They're dead ass. They wanted this dude dead. It wasn't a joke. You know what I'm saying? At least from my perspective, I didn't see that.
Race, if Biden passed away from COVID and didn't drop out the race, you people would be jumping for joy.
Nah.
For joy.
The only thing people, I can hear.
I don't believe this moralistic charade that is being.
I don't think it's a moralistic charade. I think people would.
It's absolutely a charade.
People would call out the aspect that the only thing that people would do. I think people would kind of mockingly.
Jumping for joy if he died.
I think the only thing people would do that would be
That's a
mockingly
fact.
is this. Wait a minute. Let me finish my thought, guys. The only thing I would say that is true that they would mock is say that the man was vaxxed 1,000 times and still died from COVID. That would be the only thing that I would see would be being knocked.
That's okay.
I'm not saying what I'm saying. Listen, bro. You gotta listen, bro. I was saying I agreed with you. There would be mocking within that capacity.
Oh, so there's only specific capacity you're allowed to mock the death of a politician.
I didn't say it was allowed, bro.
I mean, you gotta remember, when Joe Biden was elected, the right was already talking about how it's very unlikely that he makes it all 4 years to begin with. They were talking about the likelihood of him dying or resigning within the first year or two. Everybody was making conspiracy theories about how it was supposed to be the Kamala Harris Oval Office the entire time to begin with. So all we're seeing now is all of those conspiracy theories playing out into fruition, and people are now being justified the same way that they were being justified about the COVID vaccines being a complete bull.
Hey, look.
I want to go. I have 1 minute left.
The only part you got wrong.
You guys forget history. That
nobody said he was going to resign. People thought he was going to die. Y'all just resigned him. People thought he was going to die.
Hold on.
Respectfully,
when
don't
Trump's
put a
brother died,
in the fucking presidency. I'm sorry.
when Trump's brother died, wrong Trump trended on Twitter, and it was Twitter then, so I got to pick Twitter.
Nobody gave a fuck about his brother dying.
Right.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You're not hearing my point. My point is there are assholes and jerks among us who will celebrate the death of people that they don't like. and we have to differentiate that small minority from the general populace, and you guys don't. And you're all ready to be morally offended. Hold on, you're all ready to be morally offended when there's asshats that are laughing and mocking, and when it's your team, you're like, oh, how dare they? And you clasp your little pearls and you kick your little chop.
Is that exactly what you
Let me actually point one thing out, though.
Trump, the guy missing? Did you guys freak out and say, "Oh, this is what the left wants to? They wanted this to go through"? Or is that? Or now, are you going with what you're saying now? Or is that a small minority of the left who are like talking shit like that? Because I don't know. Like you guys, it's one thing one day, the next thing the next day. I'm confused.
That's a fair question. Yeah.
Was it a small faction of people like making fun of Trump's assassination, or was that?
I think there's some good people on both sides.
I don't. I don't.
That's the majority of the left.
I think a majority of the left are some evil ass niggas. That's just how I feel. I think a majority of the left are some evil ass niggas, and I think the majority of moderates and the right are okay. But there's a faction that are evil too. That's how I see it. But I'm not gonna make it like the ratio's the same. It's not the case.
I don't know if I agree with
I think that there is a
literally a Republican that
guys.
Why you hurt, Luca?
I'm not really hurt. Why are you saying that?
Why you hurt, Luca?
It's so strange. I just wanted to really just say like one thing, dude.
There was a Republican that
so like if you just actually just think about the fact that Donald Trump actually said.
I'm sorry, there's multiple mics open and it's a little annoying. Thomas barely graces us. Can we let him lead the conversation, please and thank you? I know that at least Luca was responding and I couldn't tell who the other person was. But yeah, Thomas is leading this conversation, and Luca, you are.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, you got it, bro. Go ahead.
No, I'm at the.
I'll just say some shit in a second. It's all good.
No, I mean, I don't necessarily think, my whole thought process is that, like, there's, at least from my perspective, let me make sure I say that, let me make sure I'm clear with that. From my perspective, it seems like there's a large swath of people that are on the left. Because this is why we saw the whole meltdown with Destiny, the way Destiny had a whole meltdown over the Trump assassination.
Put me down, Florida.
So I think that there's a lot of... Yeah. So I never said all. I talk about my perspective, bro. Listen, Louis, you got to be able to comprehend my guy. Come on, relax.
I'm following, but that's the issue. I'm trying.
I don't know if you are, bro. But my point is this: it seems like there are like people on the left look at the people on the right.
May your house be eaten up by termites.
Yeah, look at people on the right as being, people that need to be like wiped off the surface of the earth. They don't mind if they're killed. Now, again, on the right, you don't necessarily see that except for a very small, from my perspective.
I know that all of you think you have award. Wait a minute. I know that all of you think you have award-winning personalities, but they're not so fucking great that you need to interrupt other people's statements in order for us to hear you laughing. Okay? Yes, use those emojis.
Yeah, my personality.
I love your personality, but I would also love to hear the end of Thomas's statement.
I'm gonna react how I need to react.
Look, all I'm saying is this,
trouble in the hen house.
Yo, you saw that
based off my perspective, what I've seen is that the right does not necessarily wish that level of destruction from the left. They do wish they would get in line or just go the fuck away, but like I don't necessarily see them celebrating the deaths of individuals from that perspective. That was what
I'm gonna celebrate the death, and the week isn't even up yet.
It's all. Everything is intuitive. There's not. You can't.
It wouldn't bother me at all if he dropped dead by Friday.
Go ahead, Louis. It's just a strange analysis of the left and right. I don't see right-leaning people or conservatives My bad. My bad. Am I interrupt you, Lauren? Go.
Yeah, well, I was saying.
No, we're just interrupting each other. It's cool.
If
His personality.
if he drops
What's
dead
up
on
with
Friday,
you, yo?
that's gonna be a bonus to everybody that got their paychecks and
Can I
they're added to the
Coco.
This
That'd be a
attitude
great-
come from, bro?
Yes,
Like,
Lion,
great-
don't do
Louis,
that.
Samoa.
great symbol of real freedom. Like I just hear like I hear the Wizard of Oz playing real low in the background. Ding dong, the witch is dead, the wicked wins, the wicked. You know what I'm saying? It'll be beautiful. What you think, Louis? What you think?
My fault.
You sound fed up.
Yeah.
I was kind of annoyed, but can you
Thank
repeat
you
it
for
one more
that
time?
pretty useless submission. Please
No, I'm
stop
not saying it's
interrupting each
useless.
other.
I was just annoyed that I was interrupted. One more
Yes,
time.
you were. Yes. Please continue and stop interrupting each other. I think the song goes hands on your knees, not hands on your ankles. Get your hands off those fucking ankles.
I don't even know what the fuck is going on anymore.
All right, so I'll go next, right?
Oh, why?
Oh, wait, what's
going next?
Yeah.
Who said you go next, Samoa?
Was there a cue?
Me, bro.
I'm not happy
There
that
was
my
a
nigga
cue,
Louis is
Charlie,
getting
there was a
disrespected.
cue.
Why is Louis getting disrespected left and right? Why?
I don't know why.
Was there a cue?
I don't know why, bro.
Okay,
I don't know why.
so
It's cool, bro. This shit
It's
is-
all good, man. No,
Yeah, was there,
look,
so
it
Charlie,
is
was
what
there
it
a
is.
cue?
Yeah, so I waited until Louis gave the mic up before I started speaking because I know Louis needs to get it off, bro. And first, I'll be cordial on that. But just to point this out, he said, I noticed on the left. So you said it's not about one person because you're talking about destiny. So what viewpoints are you using to attribute all this to the left? And when you look at the right, you're clearly seeing certain groups that represent the right, which we would call far right, and out of their minds, the extremes of it, doing the exact same thing. As far as wishing death upon the Muslim president that was never the actual citizen of America, wishing death upon all these other figureheads. How do you rationalize that? I would say you can. Samoa, can we do a body count? Can we do a body count?
okay, Coco was
quote unquote
also.
far right extremist groups and the far left extremist groups. Can we do a body count? Yeah. Let's do it.
I believe Coco was also waiting to speak.
Oh my. Okay. Yeah, bro. We'll do it later.
No, you can. You can do the body count. I know which way
Body's
is
bad
going.
right now. I'm just gonna be real. What you're doing right now is
Okay,
bad.
so
This isn't the
we
time
want to know
for
what's
settle down,
happening.
Louis,
You
settle down.
continuously interrupted fucking Thomas, and then when someone interrupted you, I said, "Oh,
right
okay."
now is
So you're gonna shut the
micromanaging the
fuck up, or
conversation.
you're gonna be in the audience because nobody has to deal with your
Micromanagement is
tears.
weird.
No,
Anyway,
it's called control, Louis. It's called controlling the conversation and the fucking stage. Learn the difference and allow it to happen. Because sometimes this stage gets so fucking crazy with lunacy. You guys cannot control yourselves. You gotta come off the mic to laugh. You gotta come off the mic to
Why don't
ask.
you just eat your
You
food,
gotta
bro?
come off the. I will eat my fucking food if you guys would stop being assholes and just let people speak, let people be heard.
okay. So anyway, yes, Samoa and Thomas, you can do your body for body. I suspect which way it'll go, but when that is complete,
Pause.
Coco has been waiting to speak as well. So you first, and then
Okay. I'll give you 4 groups: 3 percenters, the 7th Militia District, and Proud Boys. There you go. You said, wait, who did they kill? These are the militia groups on the right. No, I'm asking, like, when I say body counts, I'm like, who died? Oh, body counts. Yeah, that's gonna. All right, so that's gonna take a little bit more research, but No, I got you. I'm researching it too, so I'm saying I was just making sure we're clear. Right. I just want to make sure that we are able to identify and agree to the figures on the far right or the far left. Like, we have to at least agree to those things, then we can research it. So, do you agree with those 3? Far right. Wait, you said the Proud Boys who? 3 percenters. I'm not sure who the 3 percenters are, but sure, yeah. All right, and then the 7th district. These are the 3 groups.
Or so the 3% is all over the West Coast.
Can we use, is Black Lives Matter allowed to be in this discussion?
No.
Why not?
Because they don't have an actual mechanism of enforcement. So anybody can be a part of that.
So they say the same thing for Antifa then. So the lives that were claimed in some of these raids and burnings and so forth, we can't use those because we can't.
No, we can use Antifa, right? Because Antifa is a distinguished group that stands for something, and they're equal to the Proud Boys. So we can use these.
But Black Lives Matter is not.
No.
Why not?
Right. So it's in the name of. So this is just a concept. Black Lives Matter is a concept. So when you get these three.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so when you get these three figureheads and who they're funded by, it's a concept, and people are out there blowing shit up on their own accord. There's not an actual coordinated effort. When you see Antifa and you see Proud Boys, they're moving underneath a certain instruction to do whatever it is they want to do. That's why they're equatable here.
So I disagree. I do think that because again, when you're talking about the aspects of being coordinated, I've seen the memos, I've seen the flyers from people within like Black Lives Matter to being coordinated to go and either quote unquote protest a lot of times violently at certain establishments.
So real quick, right? So if you look at Mike Brown,
show up here for a violent protest. That's what the flyer says, right?
So when you look at those that are the extremists of this arm of Black Lives Matter, right? Like you're able to see through testimonies where they say, hey, we ain't with that shit. So when you're looking at all these chapters, all these people are doing this peacefully. Now, the people who hijack their movement, I don't think that you could actually graft them in. I think that's disingenuous.
Well, it's one of the things I used to say before, though, because again, this is why I hold the Black Lives Matter group responsible for the quote-unquote hijacking, because they allowed it, because they did not come out and disavow it until they were had their feet pushed to the fire. Let me finish. This is one of the reasons that I've always had. This is one of the reasons that I've always had an issue with it, because again, when people talk about the hijacking of Black Lives Matter and people doing a lot of craziness in their name, okay, this is not just Black Lives Matter. It's a lot of black movements, if you will, that have had this issue throughout the decades. And it's always seemed to be allowed, because they'll say it was white infiltrators that are coming in here causing the gap with the white folks passing out bats and bricks. Sure. But again, my issue is that the level of there's not enough pushback, at least from my view, of them trying to quote unquote disavow this type of chaos and violence. A lot of them, and I will say this, there's a lot of them that are within the confines of Black Lives Matter. I think a lot of these individuals and establishments should have been destroyed.
Okay. All right. So if we were to use your logic, though, right, we have to have the exact same culpability with Donald Trump as far as January 6th.
Okay, wait. Let's no. Wait. The reason I wanted to do January 6th, that's going to go to a whole nother rabbit hole, bro.
No, it's not. No, because I'm going to use your line of reasoning.
So Donald Trump is far right.
Wait, hold on. Donald Trump brought all these people to the Capitol.
No, he
500. Wait, hold on, bro. He was on Twitter inviting people for this. The permits were made by Ali. And all these figureheads that were moving for his Stop the Steal movement. It was a collaborative effort, right? But Donald Trump was promoting it. He even went there with his detail and gave them clear instructions by saying, I know you guys are going to be at the Capitol. I'll be there too. Because he had an event that was actually planned after the Capitol, but it never got there. So again, using your logic, Donald Trump being the person that holds concept and says, hey, this might turn into, and you know this is a part of his psyche, because he said, hey, I thought it was going to get out of hand, so I offered 10,000 soldiers, right? So he went there, he fanned the flames, and now he wants to step away from it as if he had nothing to do with it by saying, hey, I said peaceful and patriotically, so that actually cloaks me in some sort of a virtue. And I'm just wondering how you're using your line of reasoning. Should not have Donald Trump been able to foresee what was going on, like how Black Lives Matter should have been able to foresee?
I never said anything about foreseeing. But go ahead, Line. Go ahead. I'll answer his question.
No.
All right, Thomas.
Bro, don't do that, Line.
Wait, hold up. This actually goes to your point, Thomas. I think when you were talking about Black Lives Matter, you were saying that there wasn't enough pushback. I think you were looking for whatever it is that you wanted to look for. There was plenty of the leadership, the original leadership, that pushed back and said that they are no longer affiliated with this group because this group has been commandeered and has been taken over by, he said, outside interests. at the time. And if you want, I can give you all of these people from Chicago
These are
all the way to
facts.
California, all the way from Chicago, California, Alabama, Mississippi, many of these places. There was the original movement actually started, Thomas, in St. Louis. The original guys, they were murdered by the police, literally burned in their cars. Their cars shot up, or they were hung outside their mother's in their mother's driveway in a tree in the backyard. Lady knows them personally. These were our people. We knew them, Thomas. And then they put these other motherfuckers in position of power. Those the three lesbians.
Okay.
That's when everything went left.
Okay, gotcha. I hear you, and I appreciate the information. So my point is this, and I was literally going to hit the three lesbians. So everything you just told me, not everything, but the last portion of what you just told me, I was not familiar with. So I appreciate that information. With that being said, the poster childs for the movement are the three lesbians, and they have not come out, at least from my knowledge, and disavowed all the death, chaos, and destruction that took place under the name of Black Lives Matter. Because these women were making millions of dollars.
$90 million.
Yeah, off the name itself.
Wait, hold on. So when they say that we are for peaceful protest, and Donald Trump says peaceful and patriotically, how are you not going to hold Donald Trump accountable for the knuckleheads that hijacked that position if you're holding them responsible for the knuckleheads who hijacked their position?
Well, again, you're assuming what my position is on the first.
No,
January
their
6th.
Come on, bro.
Wait, you're talking about my position, or because you're saying I'm the one that's doing this?
You said you wanted their leadership to disavow, and this is crazy. I'm freaking agreeing with Samoa. If somebody write this down and call my pastor to see if Ella he makes a good point that because somebody brought up the right one, like if you're gonna have a peaceful protest, right, and then some idiots show up and ruin it, right? You're saying they didn't disavow it enough because of the idiots. You're choosing to affiliate the idiots with the peaceful folks, and that's not fair.
Wait. Okay,
I'm almost done.
Go ahead.
And what Samoa is saying is, well, if you're going to say that, you're going to equate the idiots that hijack their movement, why not do the same with Donald Trump? And again, I can't believe I'm freaking agreeing with this dude. Somebody write that down.
Gotcha. Here's my thing. Couple points. When it comes to the January 6th situation, when you're talking about why I don't condemn Donald Trump for, quote unquote, inciting violence based on what you guys are saying at the Capitol, because the problem was, this is why I didn't want to go into this, but this goes into more legal ramifications, okay? And when it comes to the aspect of what he said, and if he, quote unquote, incited violence, that's a whole nother can of worms, which is why I didn't want to go that direction. Now, I understand the comparison you guys are trying to call, and I actually agree with the comparison. But my point is this. When we're talking, like Black Lives Matter had a whole swath of destruction that took place for months. The Capitol situation was one day, okay? So
that doesn't mean idiots didn't hijack it, though.
I didn't say that. Wait. I didn't say idiots did not hijack it. But remember. Wait.
Had one versus a bunch of them.
Finley. Remember, what was the crux of this conversation? Remember?
The crux of this conversation was you masturbating.
Far right group body count. Far left group body count.
But you can't. But Thomas, you can't say they're not similar because there was one.
Go ahead, Sally. I'll fall back.
It's not. You can't. That's not fair. That's not a fair. Just because you didn't have several rallies.
No. I told you I agreed with your analysis. Y'all just don't be listening. Y'all just be jumping out the window.
No. I'm listening. The point of contention, Thomas, is when we were saying, all right, these are the three groups on the right. Do you accept? You said, yeah, whatever. Then on the left, we disagreed on
Black Lives Matter. We disagreed on Black Lives Matter because you said you didn't want to have them be a part of the. And I was trying to figure out why.
Because
then the whole January 6th. Go ahead.
Right. No, hold on. Because Antifa specifies what their mission is, and it's about breaking shit down. It's about anarchy. It's about moving against fascists. It's about destroying anything to get their point across. And Black Lives Matter, their mission statement is something totally different. What you're doing is attributing the knuckleheads inside of the interpretation of their mission statement. And I think that's a problem. So I
Is it
can agree
fair?
of Black Lives Matter being a part of that.
Is it fair to say the Black Lives Mission statement has
Fair to
changed?
say that a white woman doesn't have an opinion?
Strike
Yes,
two.
yes,
Strike
absolutely.
two.
Yes.
Of course they got an opinion. It's just not an important one. Yeah, go ahead, Tommy.
No, I was just pointing out to Lavin that that's strike two.
I'm sorry, but people like want to be like, oh, I'm Donald Trump. Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Oh man, you guys
Oh my God.
Oh, strike three.
I say it again. Somehow I missed your last
What
point.
did she do?
So Samoa, did you make your point?
Oh my God.
There are other people waiting to speak. If you two, like, it's a good back and forth, but if you could wrap it up.
Oh yeah.
We'll pick it up later.
Yeah, we'll pick it up later. I'll go ahead.
Yeah, you got it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, love. So really quick, Coco speaking. Really quick, because I would like to speak on something that somebody said earlier before we get a little bit too far from that particular statement. When someone said that, I believe that they were saying like they don't see Republicans or people on the Republican side like being as excited to or wishing death on anybody or something along those lines.
Bro, please
Now-
shut the fuck up.
What happened? What was said?
Yeah, who was that?
Oh,
He's already in the audience. Don't worry. Keep talking. He was already in the audience, darn it.
go ahead.
Yeah, go.
So, okay, yeah. So I would just like to say that I am Southern born and raised in the deep South, and being raised in Memphis.
Just out of curiosity, where? I'm just curious. I ain't trying to derail. I'm just curious where in the deep south.
Mississippi. Well, born in Mississippi, raised in Memphis.
Okay, that's it.
hmm So with that being said, in the past, I would say since Trump's first term or his campaign for his first term that he did serve, there has been a sense of awakening or a sense of a resurfacing to a lot of white supremacist groups. Now here, I've stayed in Nashville for the past 5 years, but mind you, I'm from Memphis, so Nashville is only 3 hours from Memphis. So with that being said, I know the ins and outs of Nashville since I've been in like high school. So with that being said, back when I was in high school, there were no groups like these white supremacist groups that have been marching downtown twice within the past month. There were no types of groups like that thinking that they would be able to even march downtown because they know that they would be allowed to do so. Now, and the reason why I say that is there was a video, and I believe I was talking about this in another room yesterday. There was a video of a group of grown white men harassing a group of young black boys, calling them literal niggers, like with the ER, niggers, monkeys, saying that they were violent, saying just literally harassing them. These are like 12-year-olds, 12-year-old, 13-year-olds. Like these are like still babies, pretty much. And these grown-ass white men, racist white men, are throwing racial antics and racial slurs at them, while the police, Metro Police, are escorting them, because the only thing that they did was escort the black boys away from the group. Mind you, there has been a rise in this since Trump's first campaign. Okay, even one of the even one of our people who represents one of the districts here in Nashville even referenced that he was like, never before have we had white supremacist groups coming from other states, specifically to Nashville, to demonstrate their hate until Trump got in office. Okay, and these same people are voting for Trump. Also, there was a person who helped come up with Project 2025, and there was a video of him saying that he loves to give homeless people fake money. And just with that being said, there are a lot of things that people are holding like a delusion to, or like just refusing to pay attention to when it comes to the Republican side and what they represent and the things that they allow and the things that they incite and the things that they, like I said, allow to take place. So let's not be disingenuous and act like a white supremacist group and white supremacist groups and racists are not feel like in 2024 that the current Republican Party is giving them a voice now, that they feel that they can march in downtown Nashville not once but twice in the last month to incite their hatred. That's why Black Americans need a particular hate crime bill, because why in 2024 are white people still allowed to say the word nigger with the ER in front of the cops and them not get arrested?
It's called a
And these are two young boys.
Can I ask you a question, Coco?
So just with that being said, I think that yes, both groups have, there's wrongs in both groups, but I would definitely tell you what group will not allow racists, what group will not allow these particular groups to march on their downtown streets as if they're marching for peace, in which they're not. Free speech does not equate or equal hate speech. And I'm going to land there.
Let me ask my question, Lion. Let me ask my question.
Well, wait. These people that marched in Nashville, do they not pay taxes?
Did you not hear me when I said that these are not even people from Nashville?
Okay, so even if they were from Nashville, do they not pay taxes?
Am I supposed to know that information, Lion?
Yeah, well, in other words,
do I do their taxes?
All right, they have the right to protest whatever little silly thing that they got the right to do, just like you do. You like to go out there in your rainbow.
Look at I literally have my Instagram on my page. When have you ever seen me in any type of rainbow anything?
Just like they do. They want to go out there and spew about all of the hatred that they have for whatever group, so they feel that the country is theirs. You also feel the same way. You think that everybody should be more accepting of your lifestyle.
But where does that equate hate speech?
Because
where does that equate hate speech?
It could be seen as hate.
But where does that
You have to define hate speech. You can't define hate speech.
Where does accept me for being gay? Where does that equate hate speech?
That means So what you're saying is, hey, little children, you all should also accept this. The adults in the family.
Okay, so now, Lion, you're starting to conflate a lot of things. So basically, wait, really quick, Lion, really quick, so I can understand what you're saying, Lion, really quick. Lion, really quick, Lion, so I can understand what you're saying, Lion, really quick, so I can understand what you're saying. Well, you just got done talking. Lion,
I'm doing.
Yeah, that was me.
Sorry, Florida. I'm just trying to understand.
Coco, you spoke at length. Your position was pretty clear. Lion is responding to it. If you want to understand his position, then hear his position.
Then
when
be
he's
quiet
done,
so you can hear it.
you can ask your qualifying question.
That's all you got to do. Everybody in this country got the right to protest whatever stupid shit they want to protest, and you don't have the authority to tell anybody what they can't say, even if that whatever it is that they have to say is against you. People could go out there and protest Mexicans. They don't want the immigrants here. They can protest all they fucking want. That's all they can do. Now when it gets violent, the violence is the part that's illegal. That's against the amendments. There's no violence. The little KKK dudes could run up and down the streets and call all the little 12-year-old boys nigger, porch monkeys, whatever the fuck that pops in their head. As long as they don't touch these children, there is no crime. It protects them, and it also fucking protects you.
He is correct.
We don't want to see none of you weird niggas walking up and down the street. We don't want to see none of you kissing and fucking each other up and down the street in front of kids. But you get the right to do it because you're not physically hurting anybody. But the moment you do,
you're wrong. But I'll let you continue.
Yeah, but Lion, see, you're not entirely right about that. You're not entirely right.
Yes, they are.
No, Coco.
Yes, they are.
Lion, are you done?
Oh, yes, they are.
Listen, this is what happens every time people are trying to have a conversation. We can never have a back and forth without 6 people coming off the mic and having something to say, right? So let these two have their back and forth. Now, one thing that can be said, right? Does it matter that people have the right to say whatever they want? Yes, because they do say hateful shit. Maybe something needs to be reevaluated to where you can't have adults sitting there yelling and spewing racial slurs at minors, right? Find somebody else to pick on besides some little bitty ass kids, okay? But let these two have the back and forth. We don't need the commentary from the peanut galleries. Nobody needs to be hyped up in the damn conversation. They know they're making a point. Let them make the point so we can get back to the other conversation we were having.
All right, so let me finish here. The problem with what you saw was, and I think you probably didn't notice it, Coco, but I guarantee you that the white guys, they would have never said any of that shit if those little black boys had daddies with them. Ooh. So the problem isn't the fact that the white guys are being white guys. The problem is that your society is so broken that white people could come into your society in your neighborhood and talk like that to your kids. That's what a real problem is.
Who is your society? Who is this your that you're speaking of?
Well, I'm assuming you've assigned yourself to the black community, right? You said you like we.
But you're black as well, right?
Right.
Just to make sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure because you're saying you're like I'm the only one that's black in this conversation.
Well, I'm only going to go by the things that you state. So if you,
but you're also black while saying those things, right?
If you claim possession of a race or a group, I'm going to assign that to you. I'm going off of what your statements are. So you said that we ain't going to do this and we shouldn't allow that. And this racism, people are always going to be racist. You can't force people to like you.
Can I ask
Are you done? Wait, really quick, because me and Lion are still having this squabble, I guess you could say. Well, it's not a squabble. It's supposed to be intellectual discourse. Now, what I'm going to say is this.
So are you thinking about that in relationship to sacred images? Okay, well, the sacred image of masculinity in the West is a crucifixion, but a man who's crucified. But the sacred image of a woman isn't a woman. The sacred image of a woman is a woman and an infant, right? It's a dyad and not a monad.
Sure.
Right. And in the Christian view, those two images, they vie for supremacy, right? I mean, obviously, Christ is the superordinate image, but Mary is the mother of God. It's
a man sacrificing for the woman and child. That's the image. It's a triad.
So one of the things I've been playing with at an axiomatic level is the notion that unless the feminine is conceptualized as the combination of female and infant, then the culture has lost its attachment to the traditional sacred images and is probably on its way out.
Yeah. I think there's an argument that when a culture loses its religion, that it starts to become antinatalist and decline in numbers and potentially despair. I think there's something to be said that America needs a strong leader, and that we have the perception of strength. Now, you have to admire that Trump, after getting shot with blood streaming down his face, it could have been a second shooter, who knows? Nonetheless, was fist pumping, fight. After being shot. I mean, and this is not.
He's an ornery bastard, and he's funny too.
Yes, and he's brave. He has courage. This is instinctual courage. It's not calculated. It's not some arranged event. It's in the moment.
Well, you could see that then, because that was not a time when you're going
to see true courage in the moment.
Absolutely.
And if you want a leader who's going to deal with some very, very tough cookies out there, who's going to deal with a Putin or Kim Jong-un or
China.
Yeah, China. Or, they'll think twice about messing with Trump. They'll think twice.
Okay.
And poor Biden can't make it up the stairs, and obviously he's stepped out of the race.
We'll be right back. Stay with us. Big breaking news. Please pray for InfoWars. Please pray for the crew. And I'm so thankful to the crew. They're doing such a great job. I'm so thankful to Owen and to Chase and to all the rest of the crew and Rob Duver here with me right now. We were one family together, black, white, old.
Got it. No. I think you guys are wrong. The reason that they were mistaken and also shot them was horrible. But if you go, for example, we had a conversation with someone else before, so I just went to IDF.IL. It's like the IDF on Twitter. They upload a video now from Gaza. We see 3 known terrorists. You can see their faces, so you can don't say it's up to like the video that Israel made. You can actually see the faces. And one of them seems to be like a woman wearing a medical outfit, holding I think AK-47, and there were like 4 of them basically. So when she will be killed and the gun will be taken away from her, you will have a female paramedic was shot by the IDF. And you can see, by the way, right now it's basically, we just talked about it, but yeah, Daniel, I'll give you an example. What I'm trying to say is that, you know, a white flag is something that we... But Daniel, I'll give you an example of... Hold on, it's very important. You were using the white flag as a symbol. It's an international symbol that says, I'm surrendering, don't hurt me, I come in peace, I give up, right? This is why you said there were only white flag right now. Exactly. What happens if you have an enemy that understands that if I want to get closer to you, and you believe me, I just need to take a piece of cloth and wave it, and then I can get closer to you. Maybe I could explode. Maybe I could take a gun from the back and shoot you. Like, could you imagine that Hamas will infringe on those accepted?
It has to be some sort of protocol and training that in case if you see someone raising a white flag, what kind of protocol, you need to shoot him in the head, or you need to neutralize him in such a way that you shoot him in I don't know, maybe shoot him in the leg, shoot in the foot. I don't know. But I give you an example. I give you an example of I'm following you. I'm giving an example of this information in the Iraq War. You know, when Iraq War, U.S. lost the PR was the moment that the Guantanamo Bay and Abu Ghraib photos came out of how they tortured the Iraqi prisoners. In the same moment, there was a group of children, that was a misinformation, by the way, by terrorists, that they were actually the soldiers. They're trying to create a good image of themselves. They start giving chocolate to children. And then what happened was that one of these ISIS, Al-Qaeda affiliated terrorist group, they committed a suicide and killing many people, including a lot of children, by the way, that they were around those American soldiers. And the media at that time, remember, was, oh, it was American killing the children. But it was not American killing the children. It was a suicide Al-Qaeda affiliated, which actually he committed the suicide bombing, and he killed obviously some American Marines and a lot of children. But the media at that time covered in such a way American did that, and people believe that the reason was because of the photo kept coming out of the Abu Ghraib prison. I mean, what I'm trying to tell you is that people are ready. When they realize that army is an immoral army, because there's some example of that, whether it happened or not, people believe that. I mean, you can't blame the people for that.
Yeah, whether it happened or not is a key point. So, whether it happened or not is a key point. You were saying basically that many people create their the belief system of what is more and what is not on things that may or may not happen. That is exactly what we're talking about. Welcome to the conversation.
And let's agree.
Yeah, well, whether it happened or not, but I think that Soren is talking about what people choose to believe and not.
No, I'm talking about psychological war. I'm talking.
And I agree with you 100%, Soren. Then who is responsible for what you believe?
Yeah. I understand, but you're talking about what is right or wrong. I'm talking about who is winning the war. I'm talking about the PR.
No, you said that people.
But hold on, Daniel. So, Soren, when you want something, who is responsible for what you believe? Am I responsible for what you believe? Is the media responsible for what you believe?
I think the media definitely formed opinions.
Really? Where is your responsibility, Soren?
True. I mean, you have got a point there. At the end of the day, it's you actually need to analyze the critical thinking. Yeah.
We are being weaponized. with emotions in order to guide, you know, the opinion of the public. And so, yes, we are the ones actually exercising that war on the information, because we are the ones that choose to believe everything that is online, and then we just talk about it as if it were true without knowing.
The problem now with the Gaza war is that exactly the same problem that many people have. When you stop and ban, actually Daniel didn't know about it last month, but I told him, he was actually surprised, that journalists are not allowed, independent journalists are not allowed to get into Gaza. So what do you expect us to know? I mean, we get the information from where? From all these
You know what? Nobody cares. We're getting rid of the terrorists. Sorry if you don't like it.
Did you feed the cat? Did you feed the cat, Elmo?
Next time, don't be a terrorist. Next time, I don't know what he means by pussy. Next time, don't be a terrorist. You won't have this problem. We're not looking for anybody's approval. We're not looking for anybody's.
We're talking about propaganda. We're talking about like disinformation and propaganda and like the war.
And what about it? What about it? Yes.
This is basically what we're trying to like to be aware of what is going on and how to use critical thinking, how to use fact checking. Basically, Soren was just kind of talking about bias. That if I was told something that I heard once, then wow, normal, please, normal. Okay.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
That is a cherry picker backing up.
Why are you doing with the cherry picker?
He's trying to picking information. I'm picking cherries and you're next.
Are you popping cherries everywhere?
That is correct.
So what Soren says, that what can be is burden what has been, basically.
Yeah, that's what Soren just said, exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly, wow, he and Kamala have so much in common.
No, with Kamala is the unburdened. He is burdened, but what?
He's burdened. Well, they'll get over his burden.
By the way, Daniel, I find it amazing how much lying and gaslighting you did to Soren because he doesn't know you about the beheaded babies. But because I know you since 10 months ago, even in tandem, and I know for a fact that you've been running around saying, I've been running around saying that 40
Hold on. El, can you mute up? And Liv, hold on. I was never on tandem, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Can you repeat?
You were on tandem.
I was never on tandem.
What is tandem? What is tandem?
How would he even know?
It's an app that told Julia said that she came with people from tandem.
Julia, Noah, you, all of you were on tandem.
I'm not gonna argue with you. You are confusing me with someone else. Move on. Like I don't know who you're talking about. Hold on, El, I'm speaking and he's talking about me. Give me a second. You're confusing me with someone else. You can ask all those people that came from tandem. I just know Julia came from tandem. Ask them if I'm the same person that you think I am. So move on. You don't know me, but you can address what I said.
What the hell is tandem?
I guess it's like something like this. I guess it's like this because they all moved from Julia and others. I think they were doing like language there, and then at some point they moved to Clubhouse. And Julia mentioned it a few times. This is why I know what tandem is. Otherwise, I never downloaded it. I don't know.
It's an app. What is it called? Dandro?
It doesn't matter. Let's move on.
Yes,
You can address what I said, but you can talk about what I said. Go ahead.
Yes, it does. Daniel, I know you, and the beheaded babies was your best argument, and you've been going around.
You know everything, and you like beheaded babies. That's fine. Nobody cares.
No, you want to address what I said, Liv, because you don't want to address what I said. You went up on stage. You want to talk about the 40 beheaded babies? Go ahead, talk about it.
No, I just don't want you to lie because you told them that this is something that we pushed on you when in fact everyone knows that your media and your officials, and they also telling them that your officials never said that. I can literally just like play a video now of a spokesman.
Liz, nobody cares.
From your idea.
Right there, you don't care about someone said something and then someone else said something.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Nobody cares.
But
Daniel, I think you should just already accept and tell everyone the truth. You are a Muslim, and yeah, you're posing as a Jew.
Liv, I just want to give you like some life advice. And when your best excuse is it was less than 40 babies decapitated and they were killed in various other ways, it's a pretty weak sauce excuse, and you should do a lot better.
I don't know about Daniel, but I heard this argument from other Israelis on this app in November about this 40 decapitated.
Yeah,
thing.
that goes for you too. If you should have held the babies were murdered, then you should do better with your argument.
That's his moral position. His strongest moral position, it was only 39 and a half beheaded babies, and one was chopped in half and put in the microwave.
It wasn't a shit.
It was just obviously a disinformation from you guys with debunk. I mean, that's what people do.
Yes, of course. It never happened.
Are you guys upset about that there was some misinformation? Or are you guys upset that there's
That was it.
No, just because
been all this
misinformation and this.
Oh my God, let Agent talk.
That's a question from Agent.
I can't believe people are still bringing up beheaded babies and you guys lied about whatever. It's like there was a whole terrorist event a mass terrorist event in October 7th. You had a response. You've had tens of thousands of people die as a result, and living without electricity, without all this stuff for months now. How long is it gonna go? And you guys are still talking about the press here made a statement that was incorrect in the first few days under the fog of war, and that was a lie, and we're gonna keep repeating it as if that justifies everything else we want in our political repertoire.
By the way, who said that?
Meyer, one mic on Meyer.
Just one question.
One mic on Meyer.
No, Meyer wants to end it and fine. I just want to ask you a question. Who is the one that at the end debunked the story? Who said it's not true? It's also Israel, which is also something to take into account. Now go ahead, Meyer.
Yes,
so let's just summarize it.
Just one question.
Let's see if your question's irrelevant. So for the first couple of days while a war was going on, Israel came out with misinformation and then corrected themselves. And now 9 months later, that's the best you could show for misinformation. I'll take that as a win.
No, the argument is that it is possible that you might be wrong, as you were wrong before. I mean,
yeah, it's possible to be wrong in the heat of a battle for a couple of days, and it's right. But okay, so go back to Daniel's point. How did this information get debunked? Because there's a free press that's constantly checking and questioning. So if you're asking questions, that's fine. But if you're saying we should now trust nothing because for a couple of days the method of the murder was misidentified, I mean, you really got to do a whole lot better than that.
I mean, it's not easy to do that. When you say 40, but you have to name those babies. I mean, it's not easy.
No, what happened was the report said.
What are the names?
No, the report said there were 38 dead babies, and some of them were burned and decapitated. And then that got mistranslated to 38 decapitated burnt babies. There were 38. That's in a quick communication and our speed of things that could happen. But if it gets corrected within the week by the people that are allegedly the ones pushing the narrative, I mean, come on, sorry. You're talking about people that are actively lying, and then you're talking about people that made a mistake for less than a week. It's like,
I'm just saying,
this is their moral position. This is their moral position. We didn't kill as many babies as you said, and we did it a different way. They're dead, but we didn't do it this way. We did it. This is the barbaric, uncivilized, sadistic, psychotic position that they want to claim.
And then they want to say you can't trust anything. Like, you do this all the time. It's like there was someone who was thought to be a terrorist, and then he wasn't. Therefore, there's no terrorism. Like, that's not how things work.
But honestly, when you name the country called Israel in Google, it comes with the baby killing. I mean, regardless if it happened or not. I mean, that's.
Okay, let me try that right now. Let's try that right now.
Honestly, it's associated with Israel.
Let's try it. Israel. I just Googled it. Well, give me one more second. Wait, that's done.
By the way, when you look in Google under toilet cleaner, you see Soren. So Google is very accurate.
Oh, come on, that doesn't help the conversation. I know you guys.
Okay, so I just Googled Israel.
They're going on, but good.
Okay, so I
now you actually did that?
Yeah, it says Netanyahu faces delicate balance act and Biden. It's actually more about Biden's failing health than anything. I don't see any dead babies on the page.
Stories make up stories. There was a story
baby killings, old article coming up.
There's something wrong with your Google algorithm.
Every time I go to Google, it shows me advertisements for big-titted women in my local area.
There you go. That was a good point.
Oh, they moved to your area? I thought they were here.
it's actually true. Depends on what you search in Google. The very first, few pages comes up based on what you think it is.
But you know, basically the disinformation that you have from Israel allegedly is these 40 beheaded babies that ran for a few days, and then Israel itself kind of said that it's not true. There was the number 1,400 that Israel corrected down, I think within 2 weeks. And there was the calendar that the IDF spokesman showed during a live broadcast from Gaza, that he said that it's names of terrorists in a shift, and it was actually the names of the week. And those three, mistakes, or that were all corrected, or basically are mistakes, those are the things that you're holding. And I understand from this that you can really identify problems, or you can really identify where things are any bugs.
You have a silver platter, by the way. You put it in a silver platter and get it to us. So I have
Yeah. The 40 babies, look how much it bothered you that you remember it 10 months into. So it's really, first of all, hats off for you for your respect for the truth and aiming for the truth. Do you do the same thing? Can you give me now 3 examples that you have that Hamas published something that was wrong and then corrected themselves? Not the UN kind of revisiting Hamas's number and then finding that they are
it's not
incorrect.
UN's responsibility. It's not Hamas. It's not even IDF. It is the independent journalist responsibility, which you guys, by the way, banned to enter Gaza. Maybe that's.
So there are no journalists in Gaza right now?
Not
independent?
Only the Palestinians. That's why the narrative is not appealing to you guys.
That's not
no,
true.
you don't. Come on. The independent journalists are not allowed to get into Gaza. That's a fact.
Active war zone. They have to go with the military. But what do you mean? Casey Akiva was there before he lied from it.
That's the problem. If you allow the independent journalists, they might even confirm you guys. Hang on a second. They might even confirm your narrative in the stories. I give you that. But the problem is you don't allow the journalists to get in there.
No, it's not true. It's an active war zone. There is no active war zone where you allow journalists. They have to go be embedded with the Army Corps. If they join the Army Corps, they can come. And that's how the Iraq War was covered too. What do you think? They send journalists on the ground and then try not to kill the journalists?
Exactly. Imagine what that would be. That's a suicide mission.
Concerned. That's the problem. The moral problem that that's the problem. That they don't see IDF as a moral army. They say when they do all of these things, they don't really care
Why
about
do you want to kill journalists?
Because they did. 107 independent journalists have so far been slaughtered by the IDF in Gaza.
400 to 300 Palestinian journalists.
Yeah, journalists have been killed.
No, what I am saying, Soren, is why do you want to kill journalists? Why do you want to send them to war?
I don't want to kill children. IDF does. So far, over 100 Palestinian journalists have been killed. Are you saying that over 100 Palestinian journalists have not been killed in Gaza so far?
Well, can I ask an ignorant man's question to Mr. Soren here? Soren, is it possible, just from the perspective of a stupid person like myself, is it possible that some of these people who are journalists are either, active duty members of Hamas whose job it is to produce bullshit propaganda, or possibly even an enemy combatant holding a gun, shooting a bomb, driving in an armored car, pretending to be a journalist? Is it possible?
It's not only possible, it's the duty of every single Palestinian, regardless of journalists, regardless of doctors, to pick up the gun and resist.
Wait a minute. Listen to what he said. Listen to what he said.
Is it actually possible that some of these Al Jazeera journalists also holding hostages, for example, our friend from Clubhouse Shlomi, that was held together with
Chava, did you hear what he just said? Chava, did you hear what he said? He said it is the duty of every single Palestinian to pick up the rifle and resist. So then it's no surprise that they're all being targeted.
Then do not complain about civilians being killed, because if you believe that each of them is a militant or a warrior, then, well, they should all also die.
Yeah, that's the end of the argument.
It's then the problem is that when you have the ICJ finding, it's called an occupation. Resistance to occupation.
You know how to quiet now. You're full of shit.
Okay, what else?
else do you want to contribute?
I just like how Meyer. I just like how Meyer.
I just killed your entire argument.
Shut up, monkey. Shut up. Someone likes you. It's funny how Meyer and Daniel, they call it a mistake or a misreport that 40 beheaded babies news was released. How is that a mistake? So basically, let's examine what happened.
I told you how the mistake happened.
Oh my God, this guy Liv, you have like real masculinity, okay?
You asked a question, Liv.
Masculinity next to the
Really
red
bad, like it's
Hamas
the
riot.
guys dragging down
Why is
the
anyone
road.
even talking to you and giving you the time of day? Like, this is
Liv,
real masculinity.
You asked the question how this could happen.
Why don't you go to Gaza and embrace your real masculinity? Why don't you go to Gaza and embrace your real masculinity, not just on Clubhouse, but in Gaza on the ground? Go embrace
I
your
mean, in
real
the US,
masculinity.
everyone's gonna claim their masculinity by voting Mr. Donald Trump, by the way, Charlie, if you like it or not, by the way. Speaking about picking on masculinity, there's no issue with masculinity, I don't.
Yeah, and you, Soren, why don't you go to Iran, okay, and combat with your IRGC fellow Iranians,
Why are these
okay?
women so
Both of
horny?
you,
Control your
sitting here playing hardcore masculine and you're all pussies. Just go there and take your shit over there. So
Trump is gonna be the president, gonna
blah blah. All right, yeah. How much is the Iranian regime paying you? How much is the Iranian regime paying you, Soren? How much?
You're talking about
For your
masculinity, it's got
distraction
nothing to do with
tactics.
Iran.
For your distraction
You're talking, you have problem with
How much is the Iranian regime paying you for your distraction tactics?
Soren, don't give her attention. Why would you even give her
Could I
attention?
please say something?
Horny.
Oh, thanks. So, look, one of the real problems, can I just very quickly, before I preface it, I want to ask Liv just a yes or no question. Liv, are you Palestinian?
No. What's your point?
Okay. Well, it doesn't bolster my argument, but one of the problems is if you do a quick Google search and say what is the average IQ of Palestinians, or especially what is the average IQ in Gaza is 69. The average IQ of Israelis is like 94 or something, which is actually kind of low. No, we're not talking about EQ here. Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know what EQ is. Oh, please don't interrupt me.
Emotional capacity to
Yeah,
understand it. Emotional.
they could be, but please, Thorin, I need you to stay on mute. Thanks. So, I mean, I was going to say you have demonstrated this, Liv, if you were Palestinian, but I don't know where you're from, but it's probably, it's probably a problem for you as well, I would just guess, but thank you.
You're fine.
You don't need to have intelligence to find out what's going on in Gaza, man. You need to have humanity, which you obviously don't have.
Do you mean humanity
I don't know, I just did a
from
Google
Hamas?
search, that's all.
Do you mean humanity
Not to
from
Google,
Hamas?
that's the problem.
Do you mean humanity from Hamas for them to stop putting what they consider quote unquote their people in danger? Is that humanity you're referring to, Soren?
Hold on, where was the humanity on 7th of October? Where was the
What about is in fallacy? That's what you're doing, yeah.
Don't you want to focus though on propaganda and truth and what is real and what is not?
Ask you a legitimate question. Where was that humanity on 7th of October?
Again, that's what aboutism. You just said because a designated terrorist organization did this and that, it doesn't give you a carte blanche to basically,
I have a question, Soren. Do you have humanity for your fellow Iranian women in Iran that are
That's
suffering?
again what aboutism fallacy.
I embrace as a fellow Persian woman, Jewish. I embrace the what
When was
aboutism.
the last time you traveled to Iran?
Do you as an
Have you
Iranian
actually
man?
been to Iran yet?
Do you as an Iranian man?
Speak the language.
Yeah. You know why I've never been in Iran? Do you know why?
So
Do you know what would happen to women like me? Do you know what would happen to women like me in Iran? Do you have humanity for that? Do you have humanity for that?
I can explain that to you. Very simple. You know what? When the cow poo-poo, it comes out flat like a pate. When the sheep poo-poo, it comes out in a small pebble. But when the horse poo-poo, it comes out in a long tube. Why is that? Tell me.
What is this guy even talking about? You're like ridiculous.
So exactly that's my point. How do you expect me to talk about Iran's policy when you don't know shit?
I don't know
Yeah,
shit.
go back on
Okay.
mute. Shut up,
All right,
please. Go
that's
back
a
on
great
mute. Go back on
distraction
mute.
tactic,
You're just
Soren.
embarrassing
All
yourself.
right.
That was
Focus on
horrible.
any
That was
other
horrible.
problem, but what's going on in your own country that is
That was
consistent.
horrible.
Okay.
Go back on mute. Go back on mute. No one will.
That was a good one.
So Meyer, can you just tell me how did that information go public and your spokesman, high officials say on broadcast live that it is confirmed that 40 babies are beheaded? How is that a misinformation rather than a blatant lie? Can you please elaborate? I have a recording here, and your spokesman is a high official. Oh, Iran. Nice. Daniel, you take the bullet. So how is that possible?
Who gives a shit?
From what date is this? That's your spokesman.
Relax. From what date is this? Relax. You don't need to break it. Listen, you can leave the emotion aside, okay? We're trying to have like a more like factual conversation. What date is it from?
I don't know the date, but I have the recording here. Wait.
Can you find out the date? Yes. Can you tell me the name of the person?
His name is Jonathan Conrad. Look him up.
Again?
Jonathan Conrad.
Can you spell this last name? Conricos?
Yes.
Jonathan Conricos. Okay, 1 second. I want to see what this Lieutenant
There
Colonel.
are other videos of other officials and soldiers, and they all confirm that they've seen it. So it's not a misinformation, it's a lie. If it's not true, then it was a lie. Oh, you didn't know about this one.
Oh no, I want to see who this person is, you know? What is like his position. But from what date is it?
Who cares, man? Just look his name, look his position, and I'm gonna show you the video. Who gives a shit about the date?
He's a spokesperson for who exactly? Sorry?
For Israel, the IDF or some bullshit.
Well, he's not. This one I'm trying to understand who is he, but you don't know. Okay.
No,
he's not.
Listen, it says here, Jonathan Karemis, Israel's defense forces.
Where is he? Where it says here, you said it says here the other spokesman.
Here,
Where
in
is
front of me, it's a report, he's speaking live.
Yeah, who wrote what is in front of you? What website? What are you watching?
Sky News, live broadcast. He's speaking live.
Okay, hold on. 1 second, okay?
Okay.
That's interesting.
Sky News?
Yes.
By the way, Sky News for the guys, they're very pro-Israeli news outlet.
Should I link it? Sorry, should I link the video?
If you could do that, please, that would be great. I'd like to watch that too, please.
Hold on.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
What did I walk into?
Okay, so what I see. Okay, 1 second.
4 minutes, 25 seconds, and there are other clips of other officials and other soldiers who confirm that they've seen and they've heard other soldiers say that there were 40 beheaded babies.
Yeah, this is in the first. I understand. I found that like it didn't say 40. Like okay, what I see a different quote here, but I see like it said. But what I wanted to say, this is like from the 4th day of the war, of the 11th of October.
Yeah, but he says confirmed. Keyword confirmed. Hear him again. Rewind and repeat him again.
You play? I didn't hear you playing it even once.
So, apparently that was disinformation from Israeli side. Absolute disinformation.
You said Sky News. Hold on. 1 second.
Thinking. Emotional driven, by the way.
Okay. Sorry. Liv, are you talking about Sky News Australia or Sky News regular?
It's Australia, I think.
Okay, I'm with Skycom. It says, and I googled his name, and it says here, I will find it, like I will send it to you. One second. Lieutenant Colonel Ricos couldn't confirm the number of children beheaded was 40 as reported in the media. And this is from Sky News from the 12th of October. Here, I put it in the chat for you.
So what do you have to say about that? Was it misinformation or a lie? Because obviously this guy knows. This guy is big. Like, he's not gonna just like take the words from his past and say them live. Obviously, he was informed.
The quote is, there's a person, a senior person, who was identified on record. I think he was on CBS News. Personally testified to the fact that he indeed saw the heads of severe babies. Lieutenant Colonel Circuit told Sky News Australia. That is the. Do you want me to repeat it again? So you say that he confirmed 40 babies. He said there's a person, a senior person, who was identified on record. I think he was on CBS News. Personally testified to the fact that he indeed saw the heads of severe babies.
And then what else did he say? Continue.
I know that the Israeli Prime Minister's office has also corroborated the news. Did the Prime Minister's office corroborate the news? And then he said, Lieutenant Colonel, this is what I said before, Lieutenant Colonel Konkrikos could not confirm the number of children beheaded. It was 40, as reported in the media. This is all in the same article.
Listen, if you continue.
And by the way, and still, we are talking about the.
Daniel, don't read.
No.
What are you reading?
Okay. But I understand.
He's gonna say,
Hold on.
we trust him and we believe it was real, confirming it and double downing on it.
I understand. What do you mean double downing?
So you want pictures? Is that it? Do you want?
Yeah,
you
that's
want the,
exactly it.
Wait a minute. Let me follow this through. Can I follow this through? I hear you. Of the actual beheadings. You want pictures? Yes, I know. So, Liv, is that the only thing that would satisfy you? Pictures of the babies that were beheaded?
No, that's not the point. The point is that you made a very huge accusation. You need to provide proof. And
what would the proof be? I just asked you. No. You
the
listen.
name of the baby. The name.
Wait.
What are the names of those 40 babies?
Okay. So, but wait a minute. Okay. Right. I understand. I'm not stupid like you are. So listen. The proof that you're asking for, I'm asking a very simple question. What proof would satisfy you?
The name of the baby.
Pictures. I'm restating. Guys, wait a minute. I'm talking with Liv and Soren right now. So the question was, what proof? The answer provided was pictures or names. Now I have a response to that. I asked you what proof. You said pictures or names. Now here's my question for you. Is it possible that the Israeli government doesn't want to release the pictures and doesn't want to release the names for the following reason? Because if they release the pictures and they release the names, it will be devastating to the families involved. The entire world will see the pictures of their little angel.
Why announce it?
I can answer that.
Not at all. It's quite complicated.
Why say it and why announce it? Because, wait a minute, I was asked a question. Sorry, guys. Sorry, boys. A got in first, and she asked me a question that I was able to hear. So I'm going to respond to that before fielding 11 more questions. She asked why announce it. I think that for that answer, you could defer to Daniel's original point that it was in the fog of war. They saw some horrific shit. They were going around. They said it on the news. Then later they said, you know what? We don't really need to even focus on this. Let's let these parents just grieve their horrible tragedy in peace. We've got enough other reasons to attack Hamas in Gaza. We've got enough other proof. We don't need to die on the hill of this 40 dead babies. So does that answer your question? That's why they announced it. That's why they walked it back.
The reason why we're so upset is that the American government and Antony Blinken came and reaffirmed that information. And that's why the American people
were upset that we were lying.
Because it's disgusting. And here in America, we don't do that type of barbaric shit. We're 1,000 years past you. We're 1,000 years of evolution past you. We have evolved past you by 1,000 years or so.
Don't let him run away.
Yeah, but I don't know if you know, Ismail, but just like a few decades ago, that we bombed the hell out of innocent millions of people. And today we do
bombing them is different from cutting their heads off.
Well, that's
bombing them is much better. It's much better. It's much better.
Compact is like really low on that. I mean, what are you talking about?
You guys want to talk about humanity, and you're literally defending the act of beheading.
We're talking about Guantanamo Bay.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's gross to cut people's heads off? Do you think beheading is
The guys are literally, guys are literally falling for this distraction tactic. Like, I don't understand. Do you guys not realize what's happening here?
Well, they're the only people. This is what I was saying to Daniel earlier about the 5%ers, is that I think that these three people are basically just hateful trolls.
What?
So,
yeah. I'm not.
Let me answer him about these questions. Do you know why you're
Hey, let's not solve this.
No, wait. I don't care.
Why am I stupid?
Everyone in this group.
Keep in mind that I fucked your mother last night. Tell me why I fucked your mother in her ass.
I disagree. It's actually a true manifestation of the Zionist regime, to be honest.
I'm an American, you moron.
I wouldn't be proud. That is a true manifestation of honestly. He's not here to whitewash anything.
You are so stupid. I'm not a Zionist. You don't even know me. I'm actually not a Zionist. And 3 years ago, I would have said death to Zionism. I would have said.
Wait a second. You're not a Zionist?
In 2018. Well, in 2018. So maybe time has gone by, really. I mean, the past 6 years, honestly, guys, have been kind of a blur for me for many reasons. I feel like time is going by very quickly. But there is a picture of me that comes up on Facebook Memories of me in 2018 wearing a keffiyeh at a Black Lives Matter protest. That picture.
But you're not Zionist today, are you? You're not Zionist today.
What is a Zionist? I don't even... I already think you're smart and cool. I want to hear Soren fall on his face.
Okay, I can answer that, Ismail. So what I see is Zionism is I see it as a political ideology. And the political ideology, the agenda of Zionism is to create a Jewish state, an only, let me highlight that, an only Jewish state, right? Jewish only.
I don't think that's true.
And wait, I didn't finish the definition first.
Well, your definition's already full of shit.
That's fine. And the strategy that the Zionists use is to maximize land and minimize who? The Palestinians. And this is a movement that is embedded in settler colonialism.
So why are there Palestinians living in Israel? They just haven't. Why are there Palestinian people who are living in Israel?
Because
that's good that you call them Palestinian. Daniel would have called them Arabs.
That's
that's
well, I mean, I've seen posts from people on Twitter. I saw a post from a guy on Twitter who said he was talking about his own cultural identity, the evolution of his own identity, and he said, when I was growing up, I identified as Palestinian living under Israeli occupation. Then he said, I started identifying as Palestinian Israeli with a hyphen, but the Palestinian was first. He said, then I started identifying as an Israeli Palestinian because I really believed he was 16 at the time. He's growing up in Jerusalem or somewhere, I forget where he lives. He says, all right, by this point, I'm an Israeli Palestinian, you know? But now he says, now I identify as an Israeli.
A lot of people, Ismail, identify first with their ethnicity, then their nationalities. For example, African American, for example, Chinese American. That's what people do.
But those people are all identify as American first.
Not all of them.
I mean, yeah, not the fucking African Somalians who want to destroy America, but Chinese, Korean people, Indian people, Jewish immigrants to Israel, like my family. I mean, to America. My family came here to America three generations ago, or 4 generations ago. So my parents' grandparents were immigrants.
So I have a question. My mother was born before 1948 in Tel Aviv, in Palestine. I'm her son. Am I Palestinian? Like, what makes them Palestinian and me not? Like.
By the way, just to
You're
touch
not
on
Palestinian because today, after the war happened, the nation state is Israel.
So no, why are the Arabs in Israel are Palestinian and I'm not?
Why? To touch on what Ishmael said about the movement, how they identified themselves. If you actually look back 20, 30, 40, 50 years, most of the Arabs in Israel that are currently identifying themselves as Palestinians, if you look back 50, 60, 70 years, most of them actually identified themselves as Arabs, okay? And then over time, more and more started identifying themselves as Palestinians, okay? So if you're talking about a political ideology, this is a political ideology.
Well, let me give you a little history lesson, Mrs. Trapa. Arabs are in the Arab Peninsula. After yes, Mr. Mark. After later on during the Arab conquest, right, from Arabia, the places such as Syria, the Levant, parts of North Africa, became Arabized. I would use the term Arabized. Why? Because of its language specifically, because they speak Arabic, but they're not Arabs. Egyptians are not Arabs. Lebanese are not Arabs. This is just a social contract that is recent.
Exactly.
Hey, what is an Arab? What is an Arab?
It's
what
true,
is an Arab?
but so is the
What
concept
is a
of
woman?
Palestinian, a new concept. And I don't want to deny that there are people now, and that's the reality of today, that identify as Palestinians. I respect that. But again, if you look back 50, 60, 70 years, those very people that predominantly identify as Palestinians today within Israel proper, at the time would rather be identified either as Arabs or as whatever tribe they belong to.
Like Bedouin or whatever.
So you're arguing that they never called themselves Palestinian, let's say 150 years ago?
Absolutely.
No.
Thank
Okay,
you. Yes, no.
Yes, there
exactly.
was.
That's exactly what I'm saying. They did not identify. The ones that actually identified themselves as Palestinians were the Jews. Okay, within the mandate, within the British mandate of Palestine,
So
it was
if you're
actually
walking-
the Jews that identified themselves as
Okay, so
Palestinians.
to understand you, it's like 120 years ago, I'm walking the streets of Haifa, because Haifa exists back then, or Jerusalem, and I said, what are you? They would call themselves, I am Al-Misri from this tribe. I wouldn't call myself Palestinian. So there was
Assyrian maybe.
That's what
Assyrian
you
they
say,
would
right?
say.
Exactly.
Assyrian.
Okay.
Yeah, not Palestinian, definitely not.
So based on that argument, you're saying because they never called themselves Palestinians, so they were Arabs, so we didn't have the Palestinian identity. Based on that argument, you basically possess the land. Because
it's not an argument. So
I'm trying to understand you. I'm not.
No, it's not an argument. No, it's not an argument. We're talking about like what the fact. No, like how it was this. What is a Palestinian? How it was created as an identity. It's not.
I'm just trying to find out your thought process. Basically, because of that thought process.
No, maybe you
If you want to find out his thought process, you have to listen to him when he talks and not interrupt him.
No, maybe you can understand. Explain to me, like, if my mother was born in Palestine, am I Palestinian? Or what makes a Palestinian Palestinian? Do I need to be Arab? Do I need to be Muslim? Do I just need to be not Jewish? Do I need to be one that... No, I'm asking you, what makes me not Palestinian and them, like,
when this identity started,
Okay,
as
say that you're the
to describe that group.
from this tribe.
Because otherwise we are all Palestinians. At what point did it become definition for this group?
And what do you think the historians, like imagine the historians from all around the region, from the Greeks, from the Persia, from the, I don't know, the Chinese, if they had wanted to talk about this particular land, first things first, what do they call that land, and what do they call people in that land? Define historian. Like that. Not Palestinian though.
Never. You
Mandatory Palestine, South Syria, Lebanon, depends on what time, yeah.
And what about during Ottomans? What do they call those people in that land?
They call them Arabs.
Arabs.
And they call them Egyptian, they call them Southern Syria. Even up until 1955, there was still some Syrians and Egyptians.
So you're arguing that this concept of the Palestinian identity is a man-made new nuance. It wasn't
every national identity is a man-made nuance. That's a stupid question. The point is this is a new one in opposition.
Well, no, in the region there were some nation-states for thousands of years. I mean, there were nation-states, particularly in the Middle East.
Okay. Every nation-state, even if they were for thousands of years, is a man-made nuance. And when a tribe and a group turns into a nation, which is a modern invention, that's a nuance. You said that. The point here is the nation, the Palestinian nation, has only considered themselves a nation in opposition to the Jewish state. Before then, they were Arabs. They did not consider themselves a unified group. Gaza and the West Bank ended up doing each other. One was Egyptian, one was Syrian. They ended up doing each other. That's the point.
And do you think that the people in that region, the reason they call themselves Palestinian and they always argue wholeheartedly there was a Palestinian identity in the past, they're just doing it as an opposition to the Jewish state, or do they really believe?
Yes. But so the answer is in the question. It's not about belief. If they have history, let them present it. Talk about their currency, talk about their leaders, talk about their history. It's not about believing.
I'm not going to deny, and I'm going to repeat myself, we cannot deny that there are currently people that identify as Palestinians. That's just the reality of today. That's the reality on the ground. Okay, we can't deny that. But yes, it was an invention in the 60s by opposition, solely in opposition of the Jewish state. That's how it started.
I understand, but do you think the Palestinians believe in that? That's my point.
The leaders do.
The Palestinians believe in that.
The leaders do, yes. And they say.
But the thing is, forget about those few people. Like the mass majority of Palestinians, do you really think they believe that 120 years ago, if you walk in the street of Haifa, there was no such thing as a Palestinian identity, regardless whether it was existent or non-existent?
So facts don't matter. So it talks about, it talks about beliefs and like our perception. You're talking about like what people believe, and we are talking about facts. And I think that this is exactly where we are.
If they believe that,
as Government said, believe a lie over and over again, it becomes the truth. Like if they were fed by their leaders, whether it's political leaders, whether it's elders, whether it's the mosque, for decades, that this is your identity and you have to die for it, then obviously that's what they believe, right? The current generation 100% believes that. Does that make it not a man-made thing back in the 60s as an opposition to the Jewish state? Yeah, of course, that still stands.
Like now in Egypt, I don't really think anyone argues that the Arab culture was non-existent before the Islam's getting to that region. So everyone knew that they used to speak Coptic. So that's a common sense given everyone agrees on. Everyone's on board. The Egyptians become Arabized, like Tunisia, like Algeria.
Well, I don't know if you ask the Palestinian like 25.
No, it's an honest question. Is the Palestinians really believe in that? Because I don't have the answer.
Process is sorry, I'm asking.
It's called being Arabized.
They're
Arabized in Egypt for sure.
So sorry, if you ask a 30-year-old Palestinian in Hebron, they'll say they're Palestinian. And then when you ask for their history, they'll say we don't have history. And then when you ask them enough questions, if they do a very confusing narrative, that they claim that they've been there since the Roman occupation, they claim that they're Arabs, they also claim that they've been Arabized and they're not really Arabs, So it's a very confusing event. If you ask them enough questions, they start admitting that this is like a created identity in the last 40 years. But because there's different groups together. Some of them will have the name that they come from Egypt. Some of them have the name that they've been there since the Roman occupation. So their story doesn't add up. So you want to know if they put this all together and how to rectify it in their own mind, you have to talk to each one individually.
You won't find a book, you won't find a history, you won't find a president, a king, a prime minister, a queen, a palace. None of this existed.
You won't find a poet, a culture, you won't find a criminal, nothing.
Right, you won't find a legal body.
Because they didn't have the self-determination over their ruling. They didn't have the governance. Is that what you're saying?
They had nothing.
Okay. Assyrians haven't
but still, they're a nation state. It can be nation state without
Jews didn't have self-determination, and we get documentation of us.
Assyrians have not had self-determination in well over 1,000 years. They still have their own code. The Kurds have not had self-determination in well over 1,000 years. They still have a distinct identity. The Yazidis, the Jews. There's hundreds of groups throughout the Native Americans in the United States. The fact that you don't have self-determination does not make them down a people group. The Palestinians are a teeny people group in opposition to the Jewish state. This is like incontrovertible. I'm not sure why you keep arguing.
You mean the Yazidis, by the way, not the Yazidis.
The Yazidis is a different game.
Yeah, that's a whole different game.
I mean, they're pretty much genocided by ISIS.
Yeah, but surely I've seen that maps. I've talked to I was lucky enough to talk to people that age over 100 years old. They called that particular territory Palestine. I never asked them, what do you call the people in that?
Not really. They didn't really call it Palestine.
They
called it Empire.
It was part of the Ottoman Empire, and the reason.
But they didn't call them Ottoman Empire. They called them Palestine.
Yeah, the reason they called. Sorry, the reason they called it Palestine was because there were Palestinians from the area. Palestinians were Norman and I. The Jews in that area were called Palestinians because that's what the Romans named us. So it wasn't like a definitive land group. This is Palestine, but that's where the Jews came from.
Yeah, but what's the point of this? There was people, and their land was taken. That's pretty simple.
Well, they never had land to be taken.
Whose land was taken?
They never had a people or a land that was taken. Now, if you want to say it well, I can make your case for you. Just go well. When the Ottoman Empire broke up and the lands was decolonized, there were people that their land got stolen then by Jordan and Egypt, and they were never given citizenship. Now that Israel got its land back, they still don't have citizenship. So if you want to make an argument for the people group, make an argument for the people group. But you can't put all the blame on Israel, and you can't say that they're a unique nation. There are people that got disenfranchised by their Arab brothers trying to hurt the Jewish states.
But this argument that some people said they didn't have the self-determination, they didn't have self-governing, they didn't have a president, same argument can be used by the Aboriginal of Australia, by the First Nation of Canada.
Yeah, and there's still people
the US.
They still have a legal code. They still
colonized.
They have a language.
They have a legal code. They have a culture.
And can I ask a question? Soren,
Are
you advocating that the Native Americans of the United States?
You're cutting out, Ismail. I can't hear you.
We lost her, Ishmael.
What I was trying to say, Ishmael, is that just because there was no president among the Aboriginal community in Australia or the First Nation in Canada.
Actually, there were. They did have.
There was no president Aboriginal.
No, they did have that. You're wrong. Again, they did.
What about,
I think Ishmael wanted to say something, so let him.
Ishmael, you want to try? We couldn't hear you.
Okay, it's not there.
I think he wasn't made.
God,
I just think there was a president. Not aware of. There's no president.
Did you ever hear of King Kamehameha of Hawaii?
No, I'm talking about specifically what Australia was saying. There was a president, Aboriginal. They didn't
really pretty much all tribes of humans eventually flock around a single leader. Sometimes there are multiple communities with single leaders. Sometimes there's a confederation, like with the Aztecs in Mexico.
Yeah, what's the point? We know that.
People usually have leaders and kings, chieftains, whatever you want to call them.
They had a language, they had a city, they had a religion.
religion, a culture. They had even an alphabet. There was never such a thing as a
There was no alphabet among the Aboriginal, for sure.
Yes, there was.
Drawings in a cave. That's all.
Yes, there was.
No, it was
very
racist.
That's very
It
racist.
was the written
It's not racist. Aboriginal Australia had no alphabet.
People were talking to each other and they understood what they said. Language exists before the written word.
Yeah, correct.
I'm talking about alphabet. There was no alphabet. There's no Aboriginal alphabet in Australia.
Again,
That's a certain technology of language.
Yeah, because the written language was invented in Mesopotamia for trade, and the Aboriginals didn't have anyone to trade with, so they never developed the written language. That's irrelevant to the fact that they were using
were like the big entrepreneurs that got everyone interested in alphabets and that method of tracking language, of which you can do other ways. There's pictographic, Mandarin still works. Yeah, there's different approaches. But the reason they're always letters now is because of the mission work. The missionaries that went out into the world to study it, they wanted to understand it, and they thought in those terms. So they would identify the specific sounds and then create language of their description of what they're hearing from native peoples that were just talking to each other without the technology of the written word. Not all the time. And even if they did have it, which they did for different things, they used it differently. Like, they didn't have the same preoccupations that we, the West, developed with language and writing.
What did you say?
I'm saying that writing is technology, and then how you use that technology is a custom. The way that Asia utilized writing was very different than the way the West utilized writing, and very different from the way North and South America, the indigenous peoples, made use of writing.
Okay, where were we going with this point, though?
The point is very clear. They said there's no identity, so that's why these people are Arabs. Just look at their family name, no mystery. So there was a piece of land belongs to no one. We come and took it. Basically, that's the whole argument. I guess.
Well, it didn't belong to no one, or nobody came and took it. It was first the Ottoman Empire, and then they sided with the wrong side in World Wars I and II, and so that ended. The British took it as a part of winning the war, and then the people who were there formed into a nation. Those people being Jews. Arabs also formed into nations. There's Jordan, there's Lebanon, there's Syria, there's Egypt got its modern boundaries. By the way, the entire Arab Peninsula, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, all that region, the nation states emerged in this period, just like the Jewish nation state. And by the way, the people who were living there, they could have also formed into a nation state. For some bizarre reason, perhaps because of their neighbors, they did not form a quote-unquote Palestinian nation state. Perhaps because they had no identity.
They don't want to form a state. Okay, wait a second. Primarily, we cannot play the American game of being narrow-sighted in history when we're dealing with the old world, especially not this region. So long as this region has been tracked, we know of the politics. It's not like a new occurrence. We can't play dumb with all.
What politics are you referring to now? Which politics are you going to make the hot number by?
I think that you're trying to look at the formation of the State of Israel in 1900.
I'm putting the formation of the State of Israel into the context of a modern nation state, which is where it belongs, as do all the other states in the region.
I know. No, I'm saying that the role of the warring tribes of this region, it goes back thousands of years. And it's only stupidity to just ignore all the facts.
Nobody's ignoring any facts.
I'm saying that they're forming a state, but it's not a new idea, it's an old one.
No, but the modern nation state is obviously a 19th century idea. That's what we're discussing.
They're doing it in a modern way, just like all of the other states.
Guys, just wondering, why is this issues coming again and again and again? Like, Turkey is taking areas from Syria and Kurdistan. Iran is invading many other countries. and influencing the
president.
What does it feel like as we speak? Like in Africa, they're changing places. Why is it so important? Such a very narrow place. Why? I think we all should try and start talking more about Iran.
Right, people mostly don't care.
And about its proxies. I think that's a big issue. Iran and its proxies, and it's the way Iran is taking territories that are not theirs. It's not the Iranian people, it's the Iranian government. And I think this is much more interesting than like a very small place in the world.
Go make the room. You can have that interesting conversation.
No, I think like people are too obsessed about Israel. Just let Israel be. Iran is, I don't know, doing much more mess to the world. So I think we could, even in general, like I think.
Yeah, Iran is a boogeyman, is a scapegoat. You can literally divert the tensions to Iran.
I think like the damage and the genocide, the Iranian government is much more severe, much more severe than anything that
the industrial complex can drain the milking
sorry, I don't know why you are jumping into my words and talking over me. Is something in particular offending you?
This topic excites.
Triggering, yeah. Because the truth is that the people behind the Houthis.
Where are you from? Sorry.
The truth behind the Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas is one thing: Iran, the world's largest sponsor of terror. So when we're talking about the instability in the region, all roads lead to Tehran, and that is a problem.
Well, this is a regime that supports genocide and ethnic cleansing, and in general, I think Iran is the Iranian government. It's a very problematic.
Palestinian posed before the Iran's revolution.
Iran is way more ancient. Iran is way more ancient.
About Iran's role.
And I think, like, sorry to be honest, let's say you're running a company, and you have like a huge crisis and a small crisis. What are you taking care of? You're taking care of the huge crisis, not of the small crisis. So talking about Gaza while you have Iran, it's funny.
How about the 60s? Was Iran 60s or 70s?
Pretty high.
That was the Soviet Union. That was the Soviet Union.
It was not. Iran is a boogeyman here.
Right. I mean, come on. Well, no, Iran is now the current world's largest sponsor.
Of course, Iran is the world's
How about the 60s? Who was the boogeyman?
It's like you have a matter of life and death, and you are wasting your time about nonsense. So the big issue is Iran, and I think Soren,
you should stop derailing the conversation, right? We weren't talking about that.
So no, the problem is Iran. This is the problem, and I think you guys, you should concentrate all your energy and efforts instead on Israel, on Iran. Because if you are looking for world benefits, and if you are looking for true good, and to do the world a better place, then you should concentrate on changing Iran. That's what should be. And for me, it's so hilarious that people that the benefit of the world is in their side and like their best interest. So us, you present yourself people like this, you should concentrate on Iran.
I remember Netanyahu went to the 90s Congress. The problem is Saddam Hussein. If we get rid of Iraq, Saddam Hussein, the peace will be prevailed.
2024. The problem is Iran. 2024.
Okay, so I think you are a person that cares about the world. Take all your efforts and energy and explore Iran.
For the record, he's Iranian.
So you'll have a good knowledge about it. So you're Iranian, you can even do it better than others.
He opened his mouth, I knew he was Iranian.
He's Iranian. And he's also he's rejected by the Muslim community because he gave up on Islam. So there's a fatwa against him. So this is the situation that he's arguing from.
This is what happened to all of you guys when you get to the age of 70, by the way. Do not blame him when he's rambling.
No, I'm not rambling. I'm just describing. People need to know who we're talking to.
At 7 years old, what do you expect?
Sorry.
You have to go deeper, by the way.
Iran used no, we just need a little context.
No, at the age of 70, everyone's entitled. Look at the Joe Biden. Look at the Joe Biden, by the way. He can be a president. He can be a president. He can be a president of the United States.
You can't run away from the truth, son. You can't run away from the truth. Right?
Please remove the Roger from the stage. This is not the actual account. Can you guys remove?
Yeah, we know it's not
Roger?
Roger.
Thank you.
Well, Issa tolerates it. No wonder why you vote for President Biden. Honestly,
Yeah, I mean, you can tolerate him if he changes his profile photo and doesn't show one of our friends that is actually in the audience. Thank you.
So now we understand where Soren is coming from.
Okay, so now Soren will concentrate all his energy, effort, mind, and soul to condemn
That's his
Iran.
scapegoat, buddy. That's his scapegoat. The same scapegoat was Saddam Hussein.
No, they're the sponsor, not the scapegoat.
Why don't you really call the elephant in the room? Come on, you gotta call the elephant, the actual elephant in the room.
This is a good start.
That was the ICA's occupation. Let's talk about occupation, maybe. That's gonna solve
Okay, the occupation of Iran.
I'm talking about the Palestinian land occupation.
And Syria. Let's talk about the occupation of Iran.
What
do you want to know about the occupation of Iran?
talking
Actually, you are Iranian, so you could tell us more about the occupation.
You're talking about Iran's military presence in Syria. Guess what? The Assad government's invited Iran.
Yeah, exactly.
That's based on the invitation of the legitimate government in Syria.
You are saying, Soren, as an Iranian and person of knowledge,
I'm talking
you are saying that Iran is occupying Syria. Iran is working hand by hand with a mass murderer, Assad. This is interesting, Soren. So what is you as an activist that cares about human lives, what are you going to do in order to help the poor Syrian people to get rid of Assad?
Listen, you're asking me about occupation? This is not occupation.
You just said occupation of Syria, but it...
White people go to Africa and they're racist. Chinese people go to Africa and they're racist. You got a whole fucking continent of black people, you fucking weirdo. That's a dumb argument. You thought you were good. And you sat here and you fucking long-winded us to death with that dumbass argument. This is the only way that this chip understands, so I'm going to do it this way. When you have a larger population, it gives you a better percentage. You know that census thing that you gotta take every 10 years? Just put a help your bitch ass out, concrete, and you're gonna have more power in this fucking country. Concrete, you goddamn chimp. Why don't you shut the fuck up and let somebody understand something instead of always coming in like the little bitch ass nigga that you are, screaming for attention because nobody wanna give you nothing. Man, I should have had somebody aboard you. Now, the point is simply this, sir. The whites gave you that. They gave you the right to kill your children. They made it accessible for you to kill your children, to maintain your population, to make you not a threat. Coco, understand? Yes, I think you understand now. That also means because you're a small population, it gives everybody else the right to come in, like every other demographic, and step all over you. Understand? Yes, I think you understand. You get it? You see how it connects? And because you don't give a fuck about your own kids, they don't have to either. Understand? Yes, I think you understand.
Okay, Lion. Okay, so basically, like I said, you were saying that because women and specifically black women have access to abortions, technically not no more, but being that they have access or a wide range of access to abortions, that these people who have been racist and continue to be racist since the eon and the formation of the American Constitution, that white men and just white people in general are allowed to disrespect our black youth. Now, mind you, this is coming from the same person who said that we need to burn all these motherfuckers down. That's verbatim. That's something that you used to say, Lion. So this type of rhetoric that you have right now I think it's definitely the Trump. It's definitely the Trump.
Coco, ask anybody in this room has a position change. I don't think. Hey, watch this, Nathan. Watch this, Nathan. When I came in this room, what did I say? Who used to call me a genocidal maniac? So, so I can't attribute Lion's. I can't attribute Lion's views to Trump. They're not Trump views. I agree that abortion is not Trump's views. I agree that abortion is not being good for our community. I totally agree with that point. Sanger was a what's the term? Lion abortion a eugenicist. She wasn't a eugenicist. She didn't. That was the beginning. The beginnings of Planned Parenthood. Having morphed into something different, yeah, but you can argue that the roots are still there, the original intent is still there. We have certainly aborted millions of babies, tens of millions of babies. That's certainly an argument. You can have the argument about the fact that we have more population, we have more power. That's arguable because to this point, in South Africa, they certainly didn't have the power for many years. They just got it. They've just regained their power. I think they're heading for a revolution between me and you. I think they're. And what's happening in South Africa? I put it in Discord, family. Yeah, South Africa is like I think they're heading for a revolution. The blacks and the whites out of power. Thank you. Particularly lower middle class whites, the upper class. And where they living? I can tell you where these white people living in the squalors that the blacks. Yeah, we got what happened. Go. Wealthy. But that's like the middle and lower class whites. The wealthy whites still have a lot of power. They still hold a lot of positions. Give it time. Right. That's why I said I think they're heading for a revolution. Again, that's why I said it's arguable, right? Because there's certainly evidence on both sides to argue that point. I don't know that America would have been able to had it had the numbers, right? I don't know that white America, because we've seen it, right? There's been every time blacks have made any advance in this country. There's been a white backlash. Every single freaking time there's been a freaking white backlash. Even as recent as Barack Obama and the anti-Obama, which is Donald Trump, right? And we can argue that point, right? But there's certainly arguments on both sides, but the only reason I chimed in was just to kind of give credence. Lion's point of view is not Trump's, because there are plenty of black, liberals and conservatives that share that viewpoint with respect to, especially the abortion piece. I really got facetious when I said that. Of course, it's not like a Trump review. I was just trolling when I said, "Oh, it's because of Trump." What I'm saying, I like how you hold that back there. Good job. Yeah. So that being said, Lion. No. I still say that you're correlating things that don't necessarily have anything to do with each other. I mean, I understand what you were saying, but you're being disingenuous to what I'm saying and deliberately not understanding what I'm saying, and then trying to make this point of, because black women have access to abortion, that we don't, and we don't have the population control. I mean, the numbers for the population percentage or whatever have you. That apparently because of that, white men can continue to do and harass our black youth. Now, here's the thing, because you don't have a population that can do that to you. I promise you I'm almost done. What I'm saying is, Lion, you used to do this. Lion would be the type of person that would be like, oh yeah, I don't believe in abortions. Lion would still have his view about abortions, but then still say, kill the racist motherfuckers, or like do something with the racist motherfuckers. I would tell you all the time that I'm pro-abortion as long as it's for whites. I also said I'm pro-gay as long as it's for whites. And I also say that I'm pro-free drugs as long as it's for whites. And you remember that. You're right, sir. But what about the am I talking? Wait, what? Am I talking about what? Sorry, calm down. Again, I'm talking about the black issue right now, and he's talking about something that he said for white people. Think about what everything I know. You try to use my own talking point. I am. Get out the gate. Get out the gate car. I told you the three things. Races and what they do, and it's the same thing. What they are currently doing to our black youth. Okay. Oh my God. You're not listening. You're really not listening. No, you're not listening. Okay. You're really not. You just want to make an argument. I'm listening. You're acting like one right now. Here's the thing, Lion. I understand what you're saying, and what am I saying? I understand what you're saying. Because I understand what you're saying, I'm able to say, bitch, you can't correlate the motherfucking two. And I'm going to stand down on that. So with that motherfucking said, I understand, but I still disagree. But you are saying because I don't agree with you that I don't understand. This is what the confusion is. Because I understand what you're saying, I just disagree with it. Why you the type of person that would still call out racist motherfuckers, but then still say I don't want an abortion for our black people. But he was still calling out the racist motherfuckers. But what Lion is doing now is he's calling and pandering to the women. The black women they're not listening at all to what I'm saying at all. I'm gonna fuck the land. So Ryan, this is where I'm going to disagree with you, bro. I don't think it's the abortion that some women opt into that's the detriment of like the black community, and that allows black people to say, hey, I'm on the side. You didn't say that. I'm sorry. Hey, it's better for us to kill ourselves than let white people kill us or something like that. I think that the solution to stopping black on black violence the majority of the time is to stop these women who are unprepared to have kids from producing those kids. So to me, the solution is abortion. It isn't the detriment. It is the solution. So if you take off less children who parents who don't want them, who just leave the environment, the streets, raise them, then we'll see less of black on black violence. All right, so let me respond. Let me respond to that, Nathan. That's not the solution. That's just another effect. What the actual solution is something that most people, even on both sides of the political spectrum, are still unwilling to outright agree with. And it's really basic. It goes something like this: how are babies born? So the issue is, it's not that women and men they're just miraculously getting pregnant and a child, and the government has to step in and save you from the fact that you just keep, having children out of wedlock, out of any commitment whatsoever. These are choices that you made, and the reason these people made these choices, Nathan, is because they weren't equipped at coming up with I guess you could say the right tutelage or the right mentorship, or should I say proper parenting, that told them that it was more important for them to get a contract first before they decided to open their legs or, insert their male member into somebody without a condom or any sort. And then what happens next is, because they don't want to deal with the consequences of their particular actions, they want the government, which is represented by the white man, which is represented by Margaret Sanger, and which is represented by the Nazis, to come in and save them from the mistakes that they had made. And then the overall bigger point, Nathan, is that when we look at millions of people doing this exact same act, this says to the overall majority of the world, oh, it looks like niggas don't really care about themselves or their children. Why does it matter if we kill them? Why does it matter if we arrest them and throw them in jail? Why does it matter that they are educated or not educated? If they don't even care about the children that are growing in their own wombs, why does it matter who is out in the street by some cop who probably shoplifting or robbing or stealing, or he don't even really have to do anything? Why does it fucking matter? If life doesn't matter to the very people, then it is nothing but selective outrage. That's the only conclusion that can be taken. You don't care. Your neighborhoods are examples, not because you don't have because it's just a ghetto and it just happened on its own. Their neighborhoods look like shit because you don't care about your neighborhoods. You don't clean up after yourself. You don't cut the weeds that are growing on the other properties. You don't spend any money providing for that stuff. That's the reason why it's the hood. You let anybody come up and down your streets. You allow people to stand on your corners and sell drugs. You allow people to sell their ass on the other corner because you think they got the right to do it. While your children got to go to school and walk in between these fucking derelicts. You allow it to happen. If you don't mind, can you just lay on your point? Can you lay on what's the point? I'll simplify it really quickly. That's fine. I did it the long way because I don't like to go over and over. So, yes, the white man is the devil. He's a fucking serpent on planet Earth. But guess what? You let the serpent into the house. You made him a cup of coffee. You sat him in there. You go ahead and be booty clapping for him. You allow him to hang out with your kids. You allow him to educate your kids. Then you complain that the devil bit your kids. What did you expect him to be? Other than what he is.
Can I be honest with you? Here's my honesty.
Answer life.
He was answering my question in the context of where we are now as opposed to where we were, and what we had, the very thing everything that we want so much for now, we had it, and we dropped the ball, and then everybody disagrees with line. Everybody agrees with line. What do you mean by you had it? You had what?
Economic foundation, there was family structure, order. There was family structure, but what else did you have? Economic order. You have business, you need order. Okay, that's what you need. Honestly speaking, there was no economic.
Yeah, but there was family structure, but there wasn't anything much after that.
There are plenty of black businesses in America. What are you talking about?
No,
that's
still
is
black businesses in America. Yeah, correct.
with all these New York and West Coast. That's what brought.
And the majority of black people are still in the South, bro.
In those cities, right there where they're at now. All these,
yeah, and that's what people don't remember.
That's where it's most broken up. Why? Because the same structure that we never learned it from the South.
Two different type of black people, and I think people often confuse that. They gotta remember the southern Negro and the North Negro are totally different. You might catch the North Negro going into places being all loud and everything like that, right? But the southern Negro knows their manners. They grew up in a place where the whip was there to teach a person a lesson. And I think Lauren needs to understand that. Don't try to conflate the southern Negro and the northern Negro like it's the same, bro. All skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Yeah, but can we talk about what
What time period?
to grow?
For what time period are we talking about?
What do you mean, what time period? When they had businesses? After slavery up until the 60s, when it changed, when the mentality started. Black people had only black people in the North had businesses all over New York in like 1835, 1825. Black people have always.
Don't conflate the bougie black people like. Yeah.
Let's talk about black businesses in Great Britain.
No, we're not talking. We're talking about America. We're not talking about America.
Hey, look up Silicon Village. That's New York. Okay. So we're talking about in the 1960s.
We're not talking about a time period per se. We're not just talking about one particular time period. We're talking about. Yeah, I know, and there was no reason to answer it. So what we're talking about is from Reconstruction to now. What went positive for us, and what went extremely wrong or bad for us. All right, that's what we're talking about. So they set the standard then. It's the same standard today to move up. It's the same standard.
The dollar is taking off the gold standard.
Right.
The dollar is taking off the gold standard, and subjective racism, systematic racism is just part of the education process of education. Matter of fact, the college education system, tuition was free in America before segregation was repealed. So that means that the reason you pay tuition is because it's literally an economic obstacle.
What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about?
The law.
The champ is here. The champ is here.
everywhere where there is not a deliberate policy of spreading the mic, you are going to get personalities who are going to dominate the mic. Now, if you were to implement a policy where you have to spread the mic, then you get those type of rooms. It's just a natural thing that humans do, unless there was some other thing in place. So anyway, the point is, Lion is ignoring that if you were to just eliminate black abortions in America, you would still be outnumbered. So that whole Hell's Angel, blah, 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 doesn't apply because white people will still outnumber you and they still not give a fuck about you. And such that they will still call you nigga, right? No matter how many people you have. And also, they would do so if this is the case that they continue that there is a power let's say imbalance, right? The kids have a power, the kids have a power imbalance with adults, obviously, and they took advantage of it. That doesn't matter if you have all the entire fucking population. That's what humans do. Humans do wild, crazy shit whenever they get the opportunity. Number three, Lion's forgetting that if abortion for blacks was illegal, then abortion for whites would be also illegal. And the white number would be more such that you still have this imbalance of power. So no matter how you slice it, Lion, this is a dumbass argument that you use to hide your coonery because Coco fucking backed you into a corner intellectually, smacked you about the face in the body, and you had nothing to respond to it.
Alright, so let me respond to that stupid ass non-statement. So, Concrete, what's 45 million plus 26 million?
Does it validate anything that I said?
Yeah, it does actually.
Alright.
No problem. 45 million plus 26 million is 71 billion people. What's the population of the whites in America?
Again, tell me the population.
I'm not.
против нас, то, например, не Китай какой-нибудь. Если против
Ну,
нас,
что,
Россия. Я имею в виду не в том смысле, что против политически, а по какие-то противостояния. Вот реально, если бы нас Китай закидывал ракетами или Россия, у нас была бы совершенно другая история.
ну, как-то очень упрощенно надо смотреть. У нас, у нас, в принципе, на сегодняшний день и Китай, и Россия, и, в общем-то, союзников у нас посчитать проще, да, там, ну, скажем, Америка и то, да, это не в моральном плане союзник, больше в сфере интересов, но в определенном моральном тоже. А у Израиля нет таких прям опор, на которые можно опереться и сказать, то есть вообще нет. Украина ситуация в этом плане, ее поддерживает 95% либерального свободного мира, ну хотя бы на словах, да, и даже на делах. В Израиле совершенно обратная ситуация. Ты борешься сегодня не только в военно-политическом, экономическом плане, но и в имиджевом плане. Тебя называют угнетателем, колонизатором, и геноцид, и так далее, и так далее. Все вранье мира направлено на тебя. А ты говоришь, Китай, там, Россия, у тебя...
Ну да, ты понимаешь, что мы достаточно херово противостоим вот этому нарративу, но при этом у нас есть действительно огромное количество сторонников настоящих, которые выйдут за нас на рубашки рвать. Слушай, те же евангелисты в Америке, кто еще? Кто-то где-то есть.
It would just drain the country and the economy. It's a hugely costly thing to do, to be in, even in the West Bank, but let alone Gaza as well. And you're also opening up how many soldiers would be dying if they had to have boots in the ground in Gaza. I think Gaza should remain for the Gazans, and but without Hamas, preferably.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But I don't think that Gaza should be
Hamas.
It's theirs. That's fine. They can have it. Like, originally, Gaza, Israel pulled out of Gaza like 20 years ago so that it was like a dry run as a Palestinian state. And Israel hasn't actually been in Gaza for 17, 18 years or something. So I think it should remain. It's theirs. That's fine. Israel pulled out. They agreed to pull out. They agreed to make it a Palestinian state. We can't go back on that now. But I think the Arab world and America and other countries should be helpful now.
They breach the contract. Yes, you can. Breach the contract.
What I disagree. I don't know why anybody would want really hostile people to be in there. I don't think our soldiers should be in there, and I don't think Israel has any right to be in Gaza after this war. It's for them. That's fine.
Well, moving back after what happened between Egypt and Hamas, there is no option like that anymore. Egypt supporting the terrorism against Israel and using them as a proxy, just in a way to make money. So that's impossible to happen. Israel gonna need control a border between Gaza and Hamas with force to create a stage on Gaza. So it's impossible. What you're suggesting, it's impossible. Militarily, it's impossible. Israel will never gonna have a quiet border with Gaza again, because Hamas will grow from a different group. It doesn't matter. So it's gonna be Jihad Islami. So it's gonna be a Muslim Brotherhood. It's gonna be something else that has a problem with the existence of Israel.
Sure, but that was Israel's fault for not having a stronger border.
Yeah, that is true.
What are you
and it's also Israel's fault that they wanted to take it this far. Because this is the thing. I'm not saying that the 7th of October was like that they should have, I mean, obviously something should have been done to like fix the situation, and I mean, it wasn't right what Palestine did or whatever. But at the end of the day, the way it's been dragged out to this point right now, it's unnecessary, and now there's no turning back. Israel has gone too far with things, so there's never gonna be peace.
You fucking faggot piece of shit.
You literally, you know what you need? You need to swallow some fucking olive oil, because you sound like you smoked 3 packs of cigarettes, you fucking old hag, you low budget. How are you Israeli and broke? Can you explain that to me? Like, I was really trying to.
one second. I'm just gonna land right. Yeah, just give me a second. But then he continues and says, "Say ye of him whom the Father had sanctified." Right? Like sanctification. If he was eternally God, he would always be sanctified. He would be the holy eternal being, right? But Father has sanctified him. Why? Because he is the Messiah, right? And then he sanctified him. He sanctified him, and then he sent him into the world. There's this temporality, right? Jesus becomes the Messiah. God creates the Messiah, sanctifies him, and then he sends them, right? And then he's saying that, so God sanctified me, sent me, right? And then you were saying that, basically, you're saying that I'm a blasphemer because I say that I'm the Son of God, even though in the previous scriptures you can find yourself being referred to as gods? You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to, Ronan, that was beautiful, but I just wanted to say, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Good to see you.
This seems to be a defense statement coming for someone whilst we're coming to exterminate someone. He is presenting his defense, and very beautifully too. So yeah, I mean, I see. Would you like to refute that?
I'm trying to understand what the problem is. I never said that he's not defending himself. Obviously, he is defending himself. He's defending himself against the claim that he's blaspheming. And he quotes Psalm 82 to prove. Hold on. Why can't I speak? And I'll let you. I did not cut you off.
Guys, let him speak. Yeah, let him speak, please.
He's being accused of blasphemy. Okay. What he's saying in response to that is to defend himself against the notion that he's blaspheming. This is why he quotes Psalm 82. What does Psalm 82 prove? That there are other gods. Therefore, if there are other gods, Jesus is not blaspheming. Okay? Now, with that being said, he goes on to, of course, say what he says as far as, say ye of him whom the Father hath sanctified and sent into the world, thou blasphemest, because I said I am the Son of God. Of course, to me, from my understanding, Son of God, that's meant to communicate that he is the one who will inherit the nations, because, or in other words, will inherit what is God's, which is the nations, because that's where typically sons, did. They inherited whatever was their father's. So the title Son of God is meant to communicate that he is the one who will inherit the nations. And then he goes on to say, if I do not the works of my Father, believe me not. But if I do, though ye believe not me, believe the works, that ye may know and believe that the Father is in me and I in him. Doubling down on his previous statement, which they tried to kill him for in the first place, which was verse 30, where it says, I and my Father are one. So he does not recant his statement. He doubles down and goes on to just simply prove that everything he's saying is not blasphemy. He has a right to say that he and the Father are one.
The question is,
that's how I look at the language.
Oh, right. So the question is, he's reconciling his statement to who? To a community that doesn't believe in multiple gods. They don't believe in a triune God. They don't believe in a second person to that deity, right? So the people who rose to stone him, when he gave his explanation, did it resolve the blasphemy charge in their mind or not? So when he explained it to them that, oh, don't you guys say this and this and this?
Listen, just because a problem was not resolved in their minds doesn't somehow.
No, that's exactly what I'm asking you, right? Right. So look, what I'm saying is, after his explanation, right? Did the Jews, the rabbis, whoever came up to stone him, in their mind, did they?
You have to repeat yourself because my son asked me a question. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, okay. So basically, he makes a defense statement, right? So they're making a claim. They're like, hey, you're blaspheming, right? And then he responds to it. And he's clarifying the accusation of whether he's blaspheming or not. after he clarifies, however he clarifies, do the Jews still believe that his statement was a statement of blasphemy? That's the question. Because according to
him claiming to be
a deed, like him claiming divinity, because look, even now, right?
That was the blasphemy, right?
Because how Christianity perceives Jesus and divinity in today, yesterday, tomorrow, it's blasphemous to a Jew, right? To Second Temple Judaism, it's blasphemous, right? So when these Jews,
what's blasphemous again?
So if you talk to a Jew and you tell them that Jesus was God, they're going to be like, you're a blasphemer. Like if you go to an Orthodox rabbi right now and you ask him, hey, do you, like, if somebody claims divinity and being God, essence, all that, they'll be like, this is a blasphemy, right? So the people, right, who were in the temple, when he gave them the response, did they continue to believe he was blaspheming? Or did that answer resolve their blasphemy in their mind? Because if it resolves, it has to resolve on the terms of how Judaism understands God and divinity, not on how contemporary Christianity understands it. So if he makes one statement, right? The first statement, did he resolve it? And then with the second statement, he runs away, right? The question is, the first statement, did it resolve the blasphemy in the Jew's mind, or did it not? Because if it didn't resolve and they continue to believe that he's a blasphemer for that statement, then you have an argument to say that he was claiming it, right? But if he resolved the blasphemy in the mind of the Jews, then it's not a statement of divinity because the Jews don't believe that Jesus is divine. I don't know if you were able to track that.
Okay, so you're basically saying that him claiming to be the Son of God is not a statement of divinity because he quoted Psalm 82 in order to.
Because it is who he is quoting it to. The crowd the crowd is not.
He's responding to an audience, right? Like he has the audience of a whole bunch of people that are accusing him of blasphemy, right? So when he gives them the response, does it make sense to them and how they perceive God and divinity? Because if he's able to reconcile their minds of God and divinity, then he didn't claim divinity as per Christian understanding. If he didn't reconcile their mind and they continue to believe the first statement that he made was still blasphemous, then you can make an argument that he was claiming divinity.
Correct.
So the
there was a reference to context here. He had an audience,
is,
and the reference to context is the audience. So I agree with that point.
Right. Okay, so you're basically saying, your point that you're trying to make is him claiming to be the Son of God is not a statement of divinity. Is that your point?
Basically, when he made that initial statement, right, let's say it's ambiguous, right? It can turn either way, right? He could actually be saying, you know what, I am God, right? Or he could be saying that, hey, I'm God, how you guys are referred to as gods in the previous writings, and does that mean
what statement are you referring to though? When you say that, when you say, Jesus,
the statement that they pick up rocks for.
What the I and my Father are one statement?
Well, that's the one that they picked up rocks for, right?
Or the Son. Yeah, that's the statement that they picked up rocks for.
Yeah, that's the first one, right? But the second one, he escapes, so we can't resolve it, right? Because they, again, make that charge, right? But the first one, the first instance, right, I and the Father are one, it can cut both ways, right? So it's an ambiguous statement for the sake of the argument, and it can cut both ways, right? So at that point, either he's making a divinity claim, and he's actually saying that I and the Father are one, and in essence, and all that stuff, right? Or he might be saying it to an audience, right, who previously also believed that there are other gods, right? So when he responds,
they are gods with a small g.
Small g.
Esoterically here, yeah. Saying you all are gods, and why? Because you and your Father are one. That could be the other way of looking at it.
So, and when he clarifies it to them, so they pick up stone, right? And they're like, yo, we're gonna stone this dude right now, right? And he's like, wait. Don't you guys say this in your books, right? So when he gives them the response, right? Was that response because we would have?
You do realize that that response is in regards to him being to the claim that he is the Son of God, right? Not to the claim that I and my Father are one. I'll make sure you understand that.
I'm sorry, 1 second. So
I'm not understanding.
the reason, what was the statement which triggered the picking up of the stones?
I and my Father are one.
You just said it was the Son of God statement.
No, I'm saying when he says, I'll read it. Listen.
No, I know. I'm just trying to understand what you're.
When he quotes Psalm 82, he uses Psalm 82 to prove that he's not blaspheming when he says he's the Son of God.
One second. But he never brings that statement. So the statement that he says, right? So because if you look, hold on, walk me for a second. The words "Son of God" don't come up until verse 36, right? They had already picked up the stones prior to verse 36. The first instance of that statement comes up in 36. It comes up after 30. 30 is I and my Father are one. That's when the stones get picked up. So the stones didn't get picked up because he said to them, I am the Son of God. They get picked up because he says, I and the Father are one. This statement can now cut 2 ways, right? Because if it didn't cut 2 ways, they wouldn't give him the ear to do a defense of himself. So now you have 2 options. Either he's claiming a divinity, and the Jews, in their mind, they're correct to understand that he blasphemed according to how they view theology, right? Or his response reconciles their understanding, and then it lifts the charge of blasphemy because he successfully shows them that, wait a minute, you guys also refer to people as gods, and that's not a problem for you, so how can you charge me with blasphemy, right? So the first statement, did it reconcile in the accuser's mind? That's the question. Because if it reconciled, then he didn't claim divinity.
Okay, I think I see the disconnect, and I'll try to explain it the best way I can. Okay, so these what do I call them? Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, and I have to kind of go back and look, because my brain.
I do have to dip in 2 minutes too. I do have to jump off in 2 minutes, by the way. So I'm gonna hear you out. I'm gonna hop off.
That's cool. Those gods mentioned in Psalm 82. There are times where they are also referenced, if I'm not mistaken, as sons of God. Okay, so with that being said, this would basically, when Jesus says, I am the Son of God, he's claiming to be, what I'm going to say, the head of that group, I guess. He has the highest rank amongst the sons of God. That's why the definite article is placed in front of the phrase Son of God. So anyway, that's why he brings up Psalm 82 to basically say, hey, there are sons of God, and therefore I'm not blaspheming when I claim to be the head of the sons of God. And not only that, but I and my Father are still one, and they don't like that statement, and this is why they pick up stones. They don't like that he's claiming to be from God himself, to be actually sent from God, to be sent from heaven. They find this for some reason blasphemous. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's how I look at the text. Obviously, people have different opinions on the passage.
I got you.
That's how I take the text.
Would you agree with me to say that all the previous sons of gods were pious people, prophets, pious people, and workers of God? Like when he said that.
The sons of God mentioned, hold on. The sons of God mentioned before, the gods mentioned in Psalm 82 are not human. They are not human. Okay? They are literally, no, they're not. They are literally, why does Jesus use it compared to humans?
Yes, because he's addressing humans who are Jews in front of him, so it has to be.
If they weren't addressing it, just because. One second, sir. It's me and I. Just give me a couple more minutes, then I'll jump off. I do apologize before anybody jumps in. Sorry. So when the Bible, Old Testament, right, refers to sons of God, it's referring to groups of pious people, right? And that has to be for the sake of argument because Jesus is giving them an analogy with the land, right? It doesn't make sense for him to give them a non-sect. Like, if he was referring to non-human things, and he's like, well, you guys call yourself gods, right? And then they'd be like, well, you're a man. You're clearly not one of these deities, right? So the point is, he's giving them an analogy which reconciles the charge. That's the point. Because they're saying, hey, you're saying you're a man and you're claiming to be God, right? And then he reconciled the charge by saying that, hey, there's all these previous people, right, that are referred to as sons, right? And I'm the head honcho. I'm like the best of them. I'm the first amongst many.
You still have to keep in mind that he is specifically making reference to Psalm 82. He's not just saying sons of God in general, like how it's used in all passages of the Old Testament. You can't use times where, whether it be Israel being called a son of God, or you can't use passages where Israel is called a son of God basically inform this passage.
Do you believe that there's a pantheon in the heavens? Is that what I'm getting? Because from what I'm understanding, that you're trying to say that there's a pantheon in the heavens, right? Is there one supreme being, or is there multiple? Oh, sorry. Let me explain it, right?
There's one supreme being, but he has designated other beings as lower G gods.
So are you saying that in the heavens? So are you saying that there's many gods in the heaven, possibly? Like, is there at least two gods?
There are many lower G gods, but these lower G gods.
Multiple gods.
Hold on. Just like you have. So just like a king, I mean, it's not hard to understand this concept. I mean, kings all the time designate other officials in their kingdom. So with that being said, that God, he did the same thing. Now, if anybody who understands Old Testament very well will know that at some point, these lower G gods decided that they did not want to work for God anymore. They wanted to receive worship from humans. So with that being said, Psalm 82 is meant to basically, if you read the actual passage or the actual chapter, the God of Israel is condemning these lower G gods.
When Jesus draws the symmetry,
pronouncing judgment against them.
Okay. So when Jesus runs the analogy, right, then was he running an analogy to say that he's at least like the lower G gods and then he's a subordinationist, basically? Because this doesn't fall in line with Trinitarianism, right? Because for the analogy, for the blasphemy to land, right? His claim to divinity cannot be with lower G, because the Jews don't have an issue with lower G as per the scripture that you mentioned, right? It's only blasphemy if it's upper G, right? The supreme being, right? Which is the understanding of the Trinity, right? That God is, in essence, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, that the ultimate being, right? So then this plays against your position, because if he's running the analogy of the lowercase g, that just puts you as a subordinationist then. You kind of fell into an heresy.
He claims to be the Son of God. Again, he emphasizes the definite article.
Sure.
Therefore, he's claiming to.
So if the king has, I got you. So if the king has many advisors and ministers, he's saying, I am the chief minister of the God, of the president.
Yeah, I'm the leader of these.
I'm the leader of the ministers. I'm the head of the parliament, right?
That makes him exempt from God with them.
Yeah, that just puts him in a subordinationist position. That doesn't help the case. In fact, it probably confuses the claim of divinity.
And in order order to basically make sure he's not being misunderstood, this is why he continues to follow up, I believe, with the notion that he and the Father are one. Okay, so the very thoughts that you are having, hold on. Okay, but that's not how the Jews perceived it. They perceived it as blasphemy. They understood what he was doubling down on. He was doubling down on the notion that he is one with Almighty God. So yeah.
This is bad.
Were the gods with a small g one with, hold on, this is an important question. Were the gods with a small g one with God too? Is that why they are gods but not God?
Yes.
Even though I don't agree with ID, but I want him to like have a chance to explain himself, a chance to talk as well.
Matter of fact, let's actually go to the passage instead of just talking about it, because I feel like because we're not actually going to these passages, confusion is okay. So
conversation.
Okay, then I did that. I'm sorry, I have to finish actually. If that was the case, they should not have picked up the stones when he says, "I'm one with God," because if they were with small g's one with God too, they should not have had a problem with that.
But they did have a problem with what he was saying, and therefore,
who cares? But they were often wrong, though. That's what people are like Trinitarians and oneness. What they want to ignore is that these Jews, according to the New Testament, they had an agenda to put him to death, and so he's using all of these verses to defend himself. Think about this, man. If you were God Almighty in the flesh, you would not appeal to Psalm 82 to defend yourself being God Almighty, because those are lesser beings called gods that are appointed by God to rule for Him and to execute justice and judgment and to rule.
He appealed to those verses to prove to the audience that he is from heaven. He wants them to basically look at him as one who has been sent from heaven. Okay? He's trying to.
In the context of John 10,
I'm making it up. If I'm claiming to be the general of the sons of God, if I'm claiming to be the head of the sons of God, that would mean that I am in the position that I am designated as that, and therefore what I say needs to be listened to. I have authority given to me by God. This is what he's trying to establish with the people.
Does that mean he's the most high?
He said, I am my Father of one.
Saying you're one with someone doesn't, like I can say me and my mother are one. That doesn't make you that doesn't make me my mother. So just because you see what you're doing, you see what you're really doing. I'm asking you, when he says I am a son of the Most High, does that make him the Most High?
Okay, so if you want to say now, say if I gave you that, say if I gave you that, and I said, okay, well, in this specific passage, Jesus is not claiming to be Almighty. Okay, that still wouldn't prove anything, because that doesn't prove that elsewhere it cannot be proven that Jesus is God. All you've proven is that the Jewish people were simply going.
I've proven that he's not coming. So you prove with the Father. So he's not part.
Somehow that he's not co-equal because he doesn't claim it in this passage. Is that what you're saying?
Well, he doesn't claim nowhere in the Bible. I'm showing you that when I've asked you the question, when he says he's the Son of the Most High, does that make him the Most High? And you say, I can give you that. It doesn't make him the Most High. This means according to you, he's no longer co-eternal, co-substantial, and co-equal.
How?
This means.
Tell me how you proving that.
Well, because he's not the Most High.
How can you prove that?
He's not. Well, I just asked you the question. You said you gave it to me. So you proved it.
I gave. What do you mean? I gave. What do you mean? I gave
Oh,
it to
okay.
you?
Ask the question. Hey, David, you see this flip flopping around? I asked you. When Jesus says, "I am the Son of the Most High," does that mean he's the Most High himself?
Well, technically, there's actually no definite article there in the Greek. If you look where
says, because I am Son of God. So you could render that as I am the Son of God or I am God's Son. Now,
Okay, so even if there is, that's why I said, even if I gave you that,
if you look,
prove anything, he's claiming to be.
hang on, it's proving that it's proving that he's not claiming to be the Most High God. It's that he's claiming to be an agent of God, endowed with the authority to work in unison with God.
That's what I just said.
Hang on. That doesn't make a man God Almighty. That makes him an agent of God.
That's why I moved on from my point, and I said, hey, even if I gave you that, what would that prove? That wouldn't prove anything.
It would prove that when he says, I and my Father are one, that he's not claiming to be the Most High God.
Why would he quote Psalm 95, 6, and 7?
He's telling them he's a subordinate that works in unison with God.
Why would he quote Psalm 95, 6, and 7?
What's in Psalm 95, 6, and 7?
He says, hear my voice, no one can deliver up my hand, just like Yahweh in the Old Testament, Deuteronomy 32, 39.
Of course, because
why does he quote what y'all think?
Hang on real quick. We gotta slow down here, okay? Because the context is about providing salvation to the people, and we know that God appoints agents to provide for His people, to save His people, to lead and guide, and what's the word I want to use? Be a savior to His people.
Right,
so that's the context. So look, but here, hang on. So when you're looking at John chapter 10, he's talking about being an agent of salvation, and then those knuckleheads say, "Oh, when you being a man, you make yourself a god." And he says, think about this. Look, if they thought that he was claiming to be Psalm 82, or if they thought he was claiming to be capital G God, and then he responds with Psalm 82, that is completely ridiculous. You know why? Because he's appealing to many people being called, in the English language, because they don't have this concept in the Hebrew, lowercase g gods.
That's right.
And he's telling them, look in the Greek. It doesn't say, you claim, hang on. He doesn't say, they don't say, you make yourself ton theon. They say, you make yourself theon. So there should be an indefinite article there in the English, and you would say, you make yourself a god. And then look what he says. Isn't it written, I have said, you are gods? If you call them gods, to whom the word of God came, and the scripture can't be broken, do you accuse me of blaspheming, who the Father has set apart and sent into the world? When I say I'm God's son, really think about that. You would not use this chapter in Psalms to say that you're God Almighty if someone's accused you of making yourself Elohim.
Right,
so he's debunking and using a verse where people are called God.
6 to 7, why would he still say, you're my sheep, you hear my voice, no one's out of my hand, nor my Father's hand. When only Yahweh, the only other human to say that is Jesus, and before that, only Yahweh. Why would he quote that if he's not claiming
Hang on.
Creatures don't say that.
Hang on. Jesus is a creature, so creatures do say it. Now,
no.